yesterday.
The arrest followed crucial information from Crime Intelligence Unit leading the AGU members to a high school in Diepkloof. The suspect, who was positively identified, is expected to appear before the Johannesburg Magistrates Court on Friday, 31 October 2025. Investigations are ongoing to track down the remaining suspects.
The Madanga Commission of Inquiry has heard more claims linking suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu to alleged criminal Katiso KT Molefe. Former member of the Police Political Killings Task Team, Captain Maxwell Wanda, yesterday shared more information about Molefe's December 2024 arrest. Wanda told the Commission that during the raid at Molefe's home, he was informed by a man who appeared to be Molefe's bodyguard or driver that Mchunu is friends with the alleged underworld boss. The task team had carried out the takedown operation to arrest Molefe in connection with the murder of Vereniging engineer Armand Swart. Alfasia reports.
Captain Maxwell Wanda says during the police raid at Katiso KT Molefe's home, he encountered a man named Lihasa Muloi in Molefe's yard. He says Lihasa asked him for water and a cigarette, which Wanda then requested Molefe's eldest son to provide. But that was not the end of the interaction, as Captain Wanda claims that Lihasa made a jaw-dropping remark after smoking his cigarette.
He asked me a question that what is going to happen now? Because the arrested person is the friend of the Minister of Police. I said, Honorable Senzo Mchunu. And then he said yes.
Police Minister Senzo Mchunu has also been accused of having ties to another suspected underworld figure, Vusumuzi Ket Matlala. However, Mchunu denied in Parliament last week that he's linked to any criminal figure. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
The country's magistrates are calling on President Cyril Ramaphosa to fast-track the review of their salaries. The Judicial Officers Association of South Africa says the President and the Independent Remuneration Commission are the only ones who can make the adjustments, which they say have been delayed by 17 years. The magistrates yesterday demonstrated outside Parliament to highlight salary disparities between them and High Court judges, despite having the same training and qualifications. They say they want the same benefits as judges, such as lifelong salaries, adequate state medical aid and proper security. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
The country's magistrates have also raised concerns about the workload and vacancies not being filled. Magistrates Danny Lepan says they are constantly under a lot of stress.
We do not have judges, assistants or registrars to help us research our cases or write our cases. At the moment, nationally, our computers are down. We work on our private computers to draft our judgments and we work after hours. I've never yet written a judgment in 35 years at work. I write them at home.
Ntutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
And the World Health Organization says it is appalled by reports that more than 460 patients and their companions have been shot dead at the last partially functional hospital in Sudan's Alfasia. The capture of Alfasia on Sunday after an 18-month siege has solidified the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces control over Darfur. The health facility was attacked for the fourth time in a month, with a nurse killed and three other health workers wounded. The capture of Alfasia effectively splits the country, with the Rapid Forces now in control of most of Darfur and much of neighboring Kordofan, and the army holding the capital Khartoum. The two warring rivals have been allies, coming to power together in a coup in 2021, but fell over an internationally backed plan to move towards civilian rule. The International Federation of Red Cross, meanwhile, and the Red Crescent Societies say some of its members have been volunteering in Sudan are missing. Our IRFC Pierre Kammer, Deputy Regional Director for Africa, spoke to France 24.
Yes, we heard of, this morning we heard of one who is alive. He has not joined the family yet, but he's alive. For the two others, we don't know. We still don't know.
Gold is trading at $3,935.83 an ounce. The rand is at 17.19 to the dollar, 22.68 to the pound, 19.95 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $64.63 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got some delays on the Mike North between Boysons Road and the Crown Interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the Golden Highway just as you come out of the N1 exit. This is due to roadworks.
And in your sport, the Proteas women are through to the World Cup final after thrashing England thanks to captain Wolfart's 169 in Cup's 5-wicket haul. Liverpool are out of the Carabao Cup. They lost 3-0 to Crystal Palace. And Orlando Pirates play Richards Bay in the semi-final of the Carling Cup. Roma Gallant will tackle Golden Arrows.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers and thunder showers expected. Johannesburg starting at 14 degrees, peaking at 24. Pretoria 15 and 26. Vereeniging 14 and 25 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. A 20-year-old suspect has been arrested in connection with the murder and attempted murder of 7 teenagers in Westbury.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Eight minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to 702 Breakfast. It is the 29th of October, a Thursday, the year of our Lord. Is it the 29th?
30th.
It's the 30th. Oh my goodness. Where would I get the idea that it could possibly be the 29th of October? But it's the 30th of October, the year of our Lord, 2025. To at least have the right year. Do you know why I'm so confused? Cindy Paluta and I have agreed this is our sporting golden age, because what did you hear on the back of Bafana going to the World Cup, on the back of Banyana going to WAFCON? What happened last night?
Sinailis completes the catch, and the Proteas defy their past, rewriting history. Possibly setting up a fairy tale ending. 2 semi-final heartbreaks against their old foes, England, are now behind South Africa.
The South African Proteas women making it to the final of this T20 World Cup. Not the T20 World Cup, it's the ODI World Cup. T20 is a foot.
We've made that final.
We are in the final of this World Cup. The Proteas women absolutely stunning last night. There's an awful story coming out of Mamelodi, and one of our EWN stars, Khumudzo Modise, is going to be in the studio to take us through it. 2 young cousins murdered by the boyfriend of one of them, all because the allegation and the speculation is that he took them out on a night out, bought them drinks, and when he thought there were favors due him, they weren't willing to comply. He shot them dead. It's a horror story of young kids, 21 years old, who are going to be victim shamed because there they are on social media holding bottles of ciders, wearing miniskirts. People are going to ask questions about their parents and the society that allows that kind of thing to happen. But what about the perpetrator, who considerably older than they were felt entitled to their bodies? I don't care if you buy me all the champagne in all the world, in all of France. That doesn't entitle you to that kind of thing. It's a shocking story. Khumudzo Modise will give us the updates. Those are the allegations. We'll find out what we know for sure. We had a conversation earlier in the week about bullying in schools, and I asked many parents to phone in and tell us what they look out for, what they do, what conversations they have with their children to deal with the issue of bullying in schools. Today we're going to follow that up with expert advice. We are going to be speaking to really find out from experts about how to deal with the scourge of bullying in our schools, because we think that is something that really is important for us to consider. So we're bringing in a parenting coach and we're bringing in an expert on raising children, because we need to get to the bottom of this scourge.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
That is our program. Before we do anything else, perhaps this morning's shout out, 12 minutes after 6 o'clock, we always, of course, have a shout out to look at stories that we think are important. And as a way to illustrate them, we ask a shout out. My colleagues Amoramila and Muteo Kharipe are in the studio with me at this moment. I've got to ask you this question. As a road user, as a motorist, what is the thing that absolutely affronts you and aggravates you on the roads? Amo?
Oh, it definitely has to be people who drive on the yellow line, especially when you are either cycling or jogging in the evening and there are people who are trying to avoid traffic and they would therefore use the yellow line. Why are you doing that? Stop it.
Okay.
Right. That's not the lane you should be. That's an emergency lane.
Just stop it, man.
Don't do that. And also people who don't wear their seatbelts. I get so annoyed on their behalf. You know, people who would strap the seatbelt right at the back of the seat and not in front of their bodies. I really get so annoyed. I'm like, this is for
Funny,
you.
I had a conversation with my Uber driver last night because yesterday I was at the Adcock Ingram sponsors of the Brave Journalism and Media Awards. And so obviously one Uber's there. You can check it out. It was absolutely fantastic. The who's who of broadcast media was there. I was chilling with the likes of Sakina Kamwendo, Iman Rapeti was there, Clement was there, our friends from Carte Blanche, McFarlane and Massa were there. But you had all kinds of other people, like Jeff Wicks, for example, was there. Anyway, I put it all on my Insta, so you can go check all of that out there. But the Uber driver, he says he's got to the point where he no longer expects people to wear their seatbelts because that's how often riders will argue with him about that little matter. Muteo, what is an absolute affront for you on the roads? This is particularly by motorists, right?
Yes.
So you could be any road user, but what absolutely gets to you in terms of motorist behavior, driver behavior?
I mean, if I look at a car next to me and there's a child standing on the seat and is not strapped in, does not have a car seat, they're either on the lap of the actual driver.
Even worse.
Or they're just standing on the passenger seat, like, you know, I'm just like...
What are you thinking?
Exactly. Yeah, that thing just...
Because you think you are driving safely, you think you are keeping, but the next person might not be driving as safe as you think you are.
Whenever I see a car zigzagging, doing odd things, 90% of the time, but 90% of the time, the driver's on their phone. The driver's on their phone. What is it for you that absolutely grates as far as road users are concerned?
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Let's bring you up to date with the Madanga Commission of Inquiry. Yesterday, much of the focus was a debate around the arrest of Katiso Molefe on the 6th of December last year. And we saw this convergence of both the police, but also that special task team who arrived at the crime scene. And there was a bit of a jostle for positions. And yesterday we heard from Captain Maxwell Wanda telling the Madanga Commission that when they arrived, they had not anticipated the arrival of Hawks officers at that arrest. He said their presence was concerning. They arrived in large numbers. Of course, he was being questioned by the evidence leader, Lee Segels Ngube.
If I could ask you to just address the last two sentences of that paragraph where you speak about the importance of the operation and why the presence of the Hawks was concerning to you.
The presence of the Hawks were concerning to me because they came in numbers. They came in numbers, Commissioner, and I didn't expect them in that big number. And when I interacted with them, they were a bit aggressive and demanding answers, imposing questions to me up until I managed to speak directly, to interact directly with Captain Kruger, who was amongst them. But that it did not sit well with me, Commissioner, because why such a big number and in that attitude as well?
It was an extraordinary scenario from what he was describing. He goes on to say that this was just not what they had anticipated. Remember, he's a former member of the political killings task team who also served as a crime scene investigator.
While I was inside the house, busy assisting with my Alfasia member in processing the crime scene, I was called by another member from the PKTT who was a combat member who was on the gate to proceed to the gate. And on my arrival at the gate, I saw a group of people who were standing as the bystanders, as well as the members of the Hawks, of which I identified them by the golf t-shirts with the Hawks emblem and with the 3 or 4 vehicles of the members of the Hawks as well, which were also got the Hawks emblem, and some vehicles were not marked, and some people were on civilian clothing, of which I couldn't know whether it would be the members of the Hawks or the members of the public.
Were you expecting the Hawks to be on the scene?
Not at all, Commissioner. I did not expect the presence of the Hawks on that operation.
Can you imagine if things had really escalated? How is it that the left hand doesn't know what the right is doing? None of these officers were dressed in clothes that identified them. You're there to effect an arrest of presumably a person who's accused of all sorts of crimes. A large contingent of law enforcement officials is there or arrives unexpectedly. Everybody's ready to shoot their way out. Thank goodness they didn't, but it was a near disaster, was it not?
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
Muteo Kharipa, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I'm digging into your pockets again this morning.
Ooh, they're empty.
That's exactly what I'm asking this morning, Bongani. Have you ever had someone pocket watch your salary? So when somebody pocket watches you, they probably overestimate what you earn, and because they overestimate what you earn, they'll tell you something like, Bongani, if I was earning what you were earning, I'd be driving an M3 and probably living in Sandton. You have it good, man. And if you have lunch with them, you're obviously expected to pay the bill because, I mean, you have all this money.
I was once invited by a friend, a family friend, let's say. So this is an older person, but a family friend nonetheless, who had a hot investment. And the window was very narrow. I had to get in. And the amount he was saying was a nominal 250K.
Nothing for you.
And I just looked at this man and I thought, what, you think I've got 250K sitting around? Quite apart from the fact that this sounds like something that perhaps I should run away from, even if I had that money. But I just thought, what would ever give you the impression that I've just got that kind of cash lying around in case someone like you pops around with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity?
I mean, Bongani, meager 250, I'm sure.
Wow. Please. Show me how meager it is.
702.
Weather.
20 after 6, what conditions can you expect on this Thursday? Temperatures peaking more or less the same as yesterday. 24 degrees for Johannesburg, 26 in Pretoria, 25 for Vereeniging and Cape Town. Maxes at a lovely 33 degrees. Bloemfontein 27, Durban 22. That's really the same story for Gqeberha and East London, also 22. Kimberley 29.
EWN Traffic.
All right, our first look at the roads. Amo, what are you seeing at this hour?
Well, Bongani, off to a great start. We've got slight backups here and there, like on the Mark 1 North between Boysons and the Crown turn-off, peak time delays there. And then do remember those roadworks that are taking place on the N3 North in the Kelvin area, right near the Baklu interchange, causing a slight backup at this moment coming out of Marlborough Drive. And then in the city of Tshwane, we've got delays on the R80 East approaching Eskempahlele exit. This is due to peak time delays there as well. We'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Part of the 702 family.
Hi, 702 family. My name is David Khasao. I'm from Naturena, Soweto. I've been listening to 702 since I was still young. At the age of 20, even today, I'm still listening to 702. So I'm gaining a lot in terms of information from 702. Thank you so much.
Welcome to our 702 family. Let's walk the talk.
The Vitality Chicken Run, flavored by Nando's, is bringing heat, flavor, and feel-good energy to Josie streets on Saturday, 8 November. Be the first. From the first step to the finish line, it's pure Josie pride, running and celebrating the city like never before. So you can choose a route you like, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, both designed to make you sweat, smile, and soak up the city spirit. Experiencing Josie, as I say, like never before, reimagined, revitalized through Josie, my Josie. Skip the parking stress and hop onto the Gautrain to Park Station, then catch the free Prasa train straight to Ellis Park. Parking at the Gautrain is going to cost you only R1, hey? Enjoy peace of mind with full safety support from the City of Joburg. JMPD is going to be out there, SAPs are going to be out there, other on-the-ground partners too. And for every participant, by the way, who crosses that finish line, Amelia is going to be donated to a child in the Lawrenceville community, making that final step over the finish line even sweeter. Secure your spot now at racepass.com. Just search Vitality Chicken Run and join the fun. It's fueled by Nando's.
At this time of year, there's lots to celebrate, and a braai is such a great way to do that. Pesto Princess has fresh chimichurri sauce for your steak and burri, basil pesto for your braai broodjies, and hummus to snack on. You'll find it all at Spar, Checkers and Pick n Pay, or visit pesto.co.za. Pesto Princess is celebrating too, 25 years in business. I'm the founder, Kathleen, and I want to thank you for choosing our fresh products for your family gatherings.
OUTsurance Business Insurance is not just insurance. It's emergency help when you need it most. Switch today and enjoy services like Help It Out with 24/7 access to panic assistance, roadside assistance, and even office assistance. For catering companies, boutique hotels, guest houses, tour operators, and other industries, OUTsurance Business Insurance are trusted experts in insuring your business. Get a quick and easy quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. A licensed insurer and FSP.
It's happening right now. Swiper by Absa Rewards and 702 could make you win big. All you have to do is shout "Swiped" and lock in up to 25,000 Rand cash. And if you're an active Absa Rewards member, you'll win a 5,000 Rand bonus and go into the draw for a brand new JQ J5 Vortex plus 3 months of premium car insurance from Absa Insurance. Send hashtag Absa Swiper Rewards to 067 384 0022 and 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa could call you next. Your story matters. Absa. Absa is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's available at primemediaplus.com.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
25 after 6, we're asking a simple question. Have you seen a driver, a motorist, doing something so wild you were tempted to pull them over yourself? I mean, what kind of driver annoys you the most? One texting in traffic? The one hogging the fast lane because, they're driving at 120. So they have to be on the fast lane and they mustn't be moved. One who doesn't indicate, we've heard about that. What's your biggest driving pet peeve? Someone just sent me a WhatsApp to say a driver sharing the driver's seat with a dog sticking outside of the window. Why are we asking all of this? Well, in Mthatha in the Eastern Cape, one Monde Nzima was fined 40,000 Rand and sentenced to 24 months in jail. So he's got to choose 40K or 24 months in jail for driving at 222 kilometers an hour in a 120K zone and then running away from traffic officers. Officials have called for accountability amongst those who break the law.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
The other story you need to know about, a major Microsoft outage on yesterday, disrupted over 100,000 users worldwide due to a domain system issue. We've seen something like this in recent weeks. I think was it Amazon the other day that had similar problems. And it does just goes to show how technology is so much a part of our lives. How reliant are you on your tech, Muteo? How long could you survive without the internet?
About 4 hours.
Amo?
I wouldn't survive. Maybe 30 minutes.
So no internet. You can't watch Netflix. You can't Google. You can't WhatsApp. You can't be on Instagram. Liking all my pictures. Maybe that would be a good thing, hey?
Yeah, just leave it. Books, what books, board games?
What would you, no, but just
talking
your general
to the person
day.
next to you.
Your general day. What would you do? You've got to go to work. You've got to do your job. How could you do your job without the internet?
Of course not.
Hey? But people were doing radio long before there was an internet. People were tracking how money moves, Mateo, long before there was the internet.
I still take notes on paper, so.
Think about that, hey? Jacob Zuma's Umkhonto weSizwe party, obviously reshaping KZN politics. We know they won 45% in the last vote, and now that coalition between the IFP, ANC, DA, and NFP looks like it is collapsing. The NFP withdrawing support for the Premier Taminduli. What does this mean for a possible MK takeover? And on this day in 1968, Marvin Gaye's I Heard It Through the Grapevine hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was his first chart topper. Would you be my baby? I know a man ain't supposed to cry. This is one of those, right? Oh, man. Sfisa Zulu, you didn't hear it from the grapevine. You heard it from the newspapers.
702.
Good morning. The Irish Independent this morning is asking a very important question, which I'd like to ask you as well, Bongani, as a parent. Is it ever okay to read my teenage child's text messages? Do you have an arrangement with your teenage daughter of whether...
I mean, I pick up the phone and I go through their phone.
Yeah.
In principle, we've agreed only that she has a phone on that basis. I haven't done so. I haven't had the need to do so.
Yeah.
But in principle, she knows.
Yeah.
She owns the phone because I reserve the right to do so.
Yeah. So that's what the Irish Independent is discussing, because in this day and age, teenagers communicate with different people. And so they're posing the question, is it ever okay to read my teenage child's text messages to just know who they are chatting to?
Part of why I wouldn't is that these people are so clever at hiding the things, right? I mean, if that was ever a possibility, I would catch them once.
Yeah.
Never again, because they would find they've got things like, this is my main and that's my spam and this is my... They've got different accounts.
Also vaults as well. Apps that look like calculators and all sorts of things. That
so you just have to
listen. I'm saying I would catch her once and never to be repeated. Unholy heist. The Sowetan talks about a Santon church holding a fundraiser a day before a daring robbery by 12 thieves armed with tools to open safes. I mean, it's quite extraordinary. In fact, that Methodist branch has now urged members to rather use electronic payments for offerings because of the fear of robbers. Isn't that incredible when they rob churches? Business Day have been really optimistic these days. A new study highlights possible upside of 100 billion rand if we were to stick to investments in agro-processing, in mining, beneficiation, and the motor sector. And the front page of the Citizen, bitter fight for cities. But the picture I really like is that, of course, of the Proteas women's captain, Laura Wolfart, celebrating after reaching 150 in that extraordinary innings yesterday.
EWN Business.
All right, Mateo, you are talking about people sizing us up, pocket watching our salaries, guessing. Even I had an uncle who once asked me what I was earning.
Did you tell him?
It was 1998. I was stupid. What prompts the question?
Well, Bongani, a new study says most of the country's salary earners enjoyed seeing a few more zeros on payday this year. The Pay Inc. Net Salary Index, which tracks the average net salaries of around 2.1 million earners in South Africa, increased for the 6th consecutive month in September of 2025. The average salary, according to the index, reached 21,428 Rand in September. Now, the index shows a 4.3% rise in the first 9 months of 2025 compared to 2024. Despite uncertainties and challenges, 2025 is expected to be a good salary year. I don't know if you feel the same way about your finances. Does it feel like you've been earning more this year?
Huh?
Now, approximately 13 million South Africans earn more than 10,000 Rand a month, which represents the top 30% of earners in the country. at just 10,000 Rand or more. So according to the research by 8020, about 90% of South Africans earn a personal income of less than 10,000 Rand per month. That's the reality in South Africa. Banks of Africa says fewer salaries are being paid at over 40,000 Rand a month, pointing to increased job losses among higher earners in the country.
Where's the Rand?
17 Rand 19 cents against the US dollar, slightly weaker at this hour. 19 Rand 98 cents against the euro, and at 22 Rand 68 cents against the British pound. Price of gold still looking for that $4,000 mark at $3,942 an ounce, while platinum is up more than 1% at $1,593. Brent crude at $64.08 a barrel. More business after 7.
Time now for latest eyewitness news. Straight to the news desk. Good morning again, Sfisa Zulu.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Joburg Public Safety MMC Mgcini Chwaku is calling for urgent interventions to end the ongoing spat between the Metro Police and the SAPS officers. This follows a number of arrests carried out by different law enforcement agencies against each other. At a media briefing yesterday, senior JMPD officials shared that the impasse is threatening community trust in officers. Ntokozo Khumalo was there.
Last week, 7 police officers were arrested by the JMPD's Tactical Reaction Unit for the alleged kidnapping and extortion of illegal minors in Johannesburg. The arrest followed an incident which SAPS apprehended 4 JMPD officers and 2 illegal minors in Birkenstall on charges including attempted theft and trespassing. Following this arrest, MMC for Public Safety Mgcini Chwaku accused SAPS of acting unlawfully, while SAPS maintained that their actions were legal. Speaking during a media briefing yesterday, Chwaku explained where he thinks the tension started.
But the problem starts at the bottom of the ground forces. The clash started actually happening there, but there must be a mediation. And of course, there have been sort of those tensions between ourselves and how we work in this.
Chwaku added that the city remains committed to improving working relations between all law enforcement agencies. Ntokozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
The Gauteng legislature is calling for more human trafficking-related convictions. This call is informed by the latest trafficking in persons report, showing that only 12 convictions were made in the province last year, despite 123 arrests for sex trafficking. Launching the anti-human trafficking campaign yesterday, officials admitted that the province has the highest number of reported cases. Here's Community Safety Portfolio Committee Chairperson Bandile Masuku.
But it's important that the criminal justice system must sort itself out. The police must sort itself out in terms of the cops and police that are trained and that are aware to make sure that they're able to deal with such crimes of human trafficking.
Police and Prison Civil Rights Union is calling for tighter security at prisons after a stabbing incident at Polsmo Correctional Centre. Pop Crew says the attack left 2 inmates dead and 2 correctional services officials injured. The union's Mluleki Mbele says the Correctional Services Department should come up with ways to improve security in prisons.
Technology needs also to be implemented. We're living in the 4th IR, so there should be issues of technology that are implemented so as to assist in ensuring that the security is tightened in these facilities.
And Hurricane Melissa is now passing through the Bahamas as a Category 1 hurricane after it left a trail of destruction and flooding in Jamaica, Haiti and Cuba. At least 30 people have died, while around 140,000 others were cut off by rising river levels. Residents in Cuba say cleanup and rebuilding operations will be difficult at this time and fear that it will take them a long time to recover, while those in Jamaica say the flooding has left them without food, but they are grateful to be alive. The storm made landfall in Jamaica on Tuesday as a Category 5 hurricane before moving to Cuba yesterday and later the Bahamas. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 14 and 15 degrees, peaking at highs between 24 and 26.
There's queuing traffic on Mike 1 North between Boysons Road and Carr Street, while travelling on the N3 North, queuing traffic between Marlborough Drive and the Buccleuch interchange due to roadworks.
The top story this hour, Johannesburg officials are calling for an end in the ongoing spat between the Metro Police and SAPS officers.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays
12 to 1.
Chapman's Peak Drive remains closed off to traffic. This is for alien vegetation clearing. If you come across any other traffic issues, behave.
Out, all of you vegetarians, out!
Please WhatsApp us
Meat
on.
only. Eat the meat.
Can I finish, please?
Carrot, cabbage, broccoli, some vegetables for you and me.
The Midday Report
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Prime Media, South Africa's most trusted media group, presents Prime Impact, a free 1-hour business seminar running daily at the Prime Media offices in Sandton from the 3rd to the 7th of November. Learn how radio and digital can reach your target market and grow your business with more customers. Every registered business receives a tailored demo ad and a simple campaign plan, plus access to event-only package opportunities. Seats are limited. Secure your spot now. Register at primeimpact.co.za. That's primeimpact.co.za.
Hey Queens, listen up. It's time for the 5th annual Nomzamo Lighthouse Foundation Empowering Her Seminar and Business Awards. Proudly powered by the Hollywood Foundation, and we're calling on your entries. From township startups to industry-defining pioneers, the Empowering Her Awards celebrate the very best of SA's business minds. And now it's your turn to shine. Are you a woman who's passionate and committed to building a business that's changing your community? Are you looking to inspire other women just like you to dream beyond their limits? Well, this is just the right avenue for you. Visit www.hollywoodfoundation.co.za to submit your entry before 31 October 2025 and make the world your stage. T's and C's apply.
Naked people are totally zen. Because naked people spend less time on insurance admin and more time meditating and balancing their chakras. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds, and it's all online, so that means no long phone calls. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start meditating like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani and the team. The most annoying road user behavior, especially on drivers, it's when they start texting and then they lose concentration, they focus on their phone, and then you look at the distance between him or her and the car that they're following. It's like 5 or 6 meters and you're stuck in peak hour traffic, but they lose concentration, they start straddling on lanes. That just, man.
Good morning, Bongani. But let me tell you what irritates me about motorists on the road. People using their phones while they're driving. A lot of cars nowadays, like even like the entry-level ones, have Bluetooth in their cars. And then people go and they're talking on the phone while they're driving, and then they're driving at 20 on the right lane. I mean, that's annoying. Can we please stop it? This is Bakang from Centurion.
Appreciate that voice note, Bakang from Centurion. We're talking about things that motorists do on the roads that annoy you. We've heard about driving on in the yellow lane. I promise you, whenever someone does something that you think, what's going on in that car? As you overtake them, because they typically will still be driving quite slowly, but erratically, you know they're on their phone. Cindy Paluta, what irritates you when it comes to motorists on our roads? What are the things that make you go, I cannot believe this person is doing that?
I can't believe we've only got a 3-hour show. Because I could go on for the next 4 hours. Number one.
Yeah.
People who think that the yellow, my uncle always used to joke about this when we were growing up, and I thought he was mad. But people treat the yellow light on the traffic sign as go faster.
Yeah.
So then there's go faster, and then the red light goes. And what I've noticed now, the red light goes, and you still think it's okay to go through for 3 seconds after that.
Yeah.
The red light means stop. Yeah. That's the first one, because I've nearly been taken out a few times. The other one is people who don't know how a traffic circle works, right?
Yep.
The other one, and the biggest bugbear of my life, is people who go like 80 in the right-hand lane on the highway. Like if you
don't move.
And they don't move.
Yeah.
But also they're oblivious to everybody that's going on around them, right? So the 2 left lanes are the slower lanes, and then the right lanes for everybody who wants to pass, hey?
Yeah.
If you're going slower than the guy behind you, move over.
Yep.
If the guy behind you is going at the same pace, It's fine. But 9 times out of 10, he's going faster than you.
And
Move
well,
over.
even if they were, there's somebody else who might be coming behind them who wants the two of you to move over.
Right.
Right?
Right. So yeah. And then just common courtesy on the road.
Yeah.
Like, just let people go in, just.
It's okay.
It's okay, guys.
2 seconds.
And the worst is, actually, it's the best. When somebody's like racing you and they're like, and they're driving between the traffic and they're stop, go. And I'll paint a picture. It's normally like a GTI that's got like low suspension, right? And he's like left, right.
Bit of sound coming in it.
And then
out of it, right?
And he's like being aggressive and then he's like flashing. And then you all get to the same robot. And then we sit there.
And you go, hello.
And very importantly, I think this is very important as well for the scooter drivers. They must keep to the side of the road as opposed to sitting in the middle of the lane.
Yeah.
We can't overtake them. He's looking down at his phone because he's trying to see where the delivery has to go, not paying attention. And now we're all stuck behind you. Whereas if he just rode like a cyclist on the side, we could all get past. I'm not talking about your everyday BMW GS riders because those guys know how to ride, but I'm talking about the everyday scooter delivery guys.
EWN Sport.
Listen, if the sports broadcasting thing fails,
oh gosh, don't make
JMPD.
me. I was gonna say, don't make me
You've
go
just
back.
heard Cindy Paluta.
No. Don't make me go
Bongani
back.
Bingwa should be nervous for his job.
Don't make me go back to traffic because that is where I started writing traffic for Aki Anastasiou. So let's not. It's a full circle. Imagine.
Listen, we're talking this morning about what an absolute stunning victory last night. I mean, we did say yesterday it's the golden age. It's the golden age.
So I was so nervous yesterday watching the game that I decided I'm not going to tweet at all. Because I find generally when I tweet, then I just get even more anxious about what's going on and I can jinx it.
Yeah.
So I was watching with my mom, and then when I saw South Africa was 116 and we lost that first wicket, I said to her, "Can we defend 116?"
You thought that might be a collapse.
Because then we had a couple of wickets fall and it was like 118 for 3 or whatever. And then I switched the TV off. And then I did what I had to do. And then I opened Crick Info. And then that's when I saw we had posted 319 for 7. And I said, now I can watch in peace. Because we can 100% defend 319. Guys, my anxious levels are just too high at the moment. So what a performance. They're through to the Cricket World Cup final. They thrashed
Laura
England.
Wolfhard, hey?
Laura Wolfhard is just the most underrated South African captain that has graced our screens. She really, I think the problem, I don't want to say the problem, the obstacle or hurdle that the Proteas women currently face is that all the women are actually so humble that they don't like social media. They don't like to market themselves like the men do. The men are out there, they're on social media, they're this, they're that. I've sat in a room with them where CSA has gone, how do we make money? And I go, you market the women better, but the women themselves are so shy.
Well, listen, if they win this thing, that'll change, whether they like it or not.
Right. So Captain Laura Wolfhard, your captain, scored 169 yesterday as the Proteas women thrashed England by 125 runs. 169 is the highest score at this World Cup so far. They posted 319 for 7. Brits made 45. Cup made 42 and then took 5 wickets herself as England were 194 all out. Cup is now the leading wicket taker in Women's World Cup history with 45 wickets in total.
Look, it's my second fiver and the second one against England in a World Cup, but happy to do that in a World Cup semi-final. It wasn't easy. No, I think, look, there was a calmness in the group this morning for some reason. We just felt like what will happen will happen. Once we lost the toss, I was actually happy that we batted first.
The final is on Sunday where the Proteas play the winner of today's semi-final between Australia and India. Liverpool are out of the Carabao Cup. They were lost 3-0 at home to Crystal Palace. Sarr scored 2 goals. With a heavy schedule, Liverpool coach Arne Slot rested all his top players. He started 3 teenagers, which he doesn't regret.
Now, it's always a blow to lose a game of football, especially if it leads to going out of a competition. But it's the same selection I did tonight as I did last season in rounds like this. There are many reasons maybe why we've lost 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 7. None of them are good enough to accept losing so many. So I can come up with arguments or reasons, but none of them will be enough to go to that standard, because at Liverpool losing 5 out of 6, 6 out of 7 is always too much.
And I know all the teenagers in the car right now going 6-7. He said 6-7. Palace will meet Arsenal in the quarterfinals. Arsenal beat Brighton 2-0. Chelsea beat Wolves 4-3 and plays Cardiff. Man City got a 3-1 win over Swansea and plays Brentford. Newcastle beat Spurs 2-0. They'll play Fulham. Back home in the Carling Knockout Cup, Marimo Galan thrashing Stellenbosch 4-0 with 2 goals from Ndlodlo. They'll now play Golden Arrows in the semi-final. Orlando Pirates will play Richards Bay. And in tennis at the Paris Masters, no problem for second seed Yannick Sinner, who beat Berg 6-4, 6-2. But the 8th seed Casper Ruud is out, along with the 7th seed Musetti. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
My name is Alwande. I'm 11 years old. I attend the school Tefontein Primary. When I grow up, I wish to be a doctor. I'm very excited to play the Whiz Quiz with you, Uncle Bongani.
Oh, we can't wait to play with you too. 10,000 Rand is up for grabs.
EWN Traffic.
Right, let's catch up with the roads. 13 to 7, delays on the November 1 North. Amo, what's going on?
That's correct, Bongani. Peak time delays here between Bears Nodia Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive while traveling on the N3 North. Please remember to be on the lookout for those road wrecks that are taking place along this route between Marlborough Drive and the Baku Interchange. About a 15-minute hold up there. Please be on the lookout. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
All right.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? It's brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand is up for grabs. Firstly, for an answer that you can send us based on anything you heard on the show to win 1,000 Rand, simply SMS us your name and that answer to 31702. And of course, a little later, someone else will ask a question to get to your answer to win 2,000 Rand. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
At Auto & General, we understand your business is built on more than just vehicles. It's your stock, tools and equipment, and the premises where you work. Auto & General Business Insurance is designed for businesses like yours, protecting your assets against fire, theft, storms, and other unexpected events. To protect your livelihood, visit autogen.co.za and get an obligation-free business insurance quote. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Live extra with Checkers, SA's #1 in value supermarket. Save big on deals like Sunshine D 40% light or 60% original fat spread, 500 grams, any two for 79 Rand. Baby Soft 2-ply toilet rolls, 9 per pack, and Domestos Power Foam, 450 mils, both for 99 Rand. And Nescafe Gold caffeinated instant coffee, 200 grams, any for 149.99. Valid until Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
Who says everyday driving can't be très chic? Rent premium with Sani Sixt now. Own the stylish Citroen C3 later. Yes, that's 3 cars, 3 months, 3 chances to say ooh la la. Just book directly on sani.co.za. Call us or rent at any branch between 1 November and 31 January, and you're automatically entered into the draw. Bon voyage with Sani Sixt and win. T's and C's apply.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Let's give away some cash, shall we? We're playing with 11-year-old Aluande, who wants to be a doctor later in life. Aluande, are you ready to play the Whiz Quiz?
Yes.
I've got 10 questions. Give me 10 answers. I'll give you 10,000 Rand. Otherwise, it's $100 for each correct answer. Let's play the Whiz Quiz. True or false? The Indian Ocean is the world's largest ocean.
True.
It's false. Does the word fake mean genuine or bogus?
Bogus.
Correct. Which South African city is known as the City of Gold?
Kimberley.
Johannesburg. In which month is Women's Day celebrated in South Africa? April or August?
August.
Correct. In sport, the abbreviation MVP stands for most what player?
Pass.
Valuable. True or false? Animals that eat both meat and plants are called omnivores.
True.
Correct. Which TV show has characters like Elmo, Big Bird, and Ernie?
Sesame Street.
Correct. How many colors are there in the South African flag?
5.
6 is the answer we were looking for there. 6 is the answer. Aluande, bit of a rough one there for you. You walk away with 4 correct answers. 400 Rand.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
It is time now for, of course, us to look at this awful, awful story. Two cousins, 21-year-old Baliseng and 22-year-old Tsiamo Muramaga, were shot and left for dead just meters from their home after a night out this past weekend. The accused is 30-year-old Tebogo Mnisi, who is believed to be the boyfriend of one of the cousins. That man appeared in the Mamelodi Magistrates Court yesterday. He's facing 5 charges, including 2 counts of murder and 1 of attempted murder. He abandoned his bid for bail. There was a third victim, one Desmond Sinong, who was with the 2 girls but survived, but remains in a critical condition. Our Eyewitness News reporter keeping an eye on that story is Khumutso Modise, who joins us now on the line. Khumutso, let's just go back to how all of this started. What happened in those early hours of Sunday morning in Mamelodi East?
Well, Bongani, from what we hear from community members and the family of the 2 women is that Baliseng and Tsiamo were at a local establishment in Mamelodi East called Small Konga. It's a Shisanyama, which I visited while I was there. And they were spending the night there. They were there from around 10 p.m. on Saturday night. And they then bumped into Desmond Sinong, the 27-year-old victim, who was also shot on that night. And what we heard then was that they spent the night there, and in the early hours of Sunday morning, they then decided to leave Small Konga and walk home. Now, according to Sinong, who I've spoken to, Bongani, he says he left the establishment with Baliseng, and Tsiamo left with her boyfriend, who is Tebogo, the accused in this matter. And he says as they were walking through the streets of Mamelodi East at around 2:30 in the morning, he then, was walking towards the house with Baliseng. He says Baliseng wanted to show him where they were living, and they were planning to move to a second location to continue partying on that in the early hours of the morning, when a car stopped in front of them, and it was Tebogo's vehicle, allegedly. And he says he just saw Tebogo walk out of the car, and he started shooting him. He really didn't say much. He just started swearing at him. And he then realized that he had been shot in his private parts. And he says he then fled and was running home.
Goodness me. I mean, do we know why this might have happened, Khumutso?
Well, Bongani, Desmond just, he says he doesn't know. He says he didn't even know Tebogo. But upon reflection, he says he realizes that Tebogo may have been watching him and watching them partying at Small Konga. You see, Tebogo also happened to have been a bouncer at Small Konga. And he was, around the establishment. And he says that now that he thinks about it, this is Desmond, of course, he realizes that Tebogo may have been watching them as they were having a good time and partying, and that may have triggered an emotion from him, prompting him to then follow him and then open fire.
But if I understand you correctly, he would have left that establishment with the 21-year-old Baliseng. Tsiamo, who was the accused's girlfriend, would have stayed with her partner.
That's right. So, Sinong says as he was walking with Baliseng said to him that he didn't want to leave with Tsiamo and the boyfriend and the accused, because he claims that the accused had been abusive towards Tsiamo. And so she didn't really like him much. She wasn't very fond of him. She didn't want him dating his friend, or her cousin, I should say. And so they were walking away together into the streets of Mamelodi.
Yeah.
And Sinong says he tried to find out more about this abusive relationship, but Baliseng wouldn't give much.
So he fled the scene, Desmond Sinong, leaving Baliseng pretty much on her own then.
Yes, so he left Baliseng and Tsiamo. So according to him, when the car stopped in front of them, Tsiamo was there as well, so in the car driving with the boyfriend. So at the point where he was shot, he then started running.
All right, so where do we know about where the 2 women were found?
Well, he says that he heard gunshots as he was running, and he presumes that's when the 2 women were shot. And according to him, the spot where the women were shot, and the pictures that have been taken that are making the rounds of social media, that's where he left them. So he says at that point, they stayed there. The women were shouting at the accused, according to Sunong, saying, "What are you doing? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you shooting Desmond?" And he started running, and a few moments after that, he heard more gunshots, and he assumes that's when the women were shot by the accused.
It's a story, of course, that has had Mamelodi gripped all of this week. What is the sense there of the community? Are people angry? Are people afraid? What have you noticed?
You know, Bongani, it was so beautiful for me to see yesterday how the community of Mamelodi came out in their numbers, especially the men. These are fathers who left work. These are community members, taxi drivers who've rallied behind these family members. And, they've come and said, we have daughters, and it cannot be right that these girls die in this way. And so the community came out in its numbers yesterday, and they've been calling, number one, for bail to be denied, but they've also been, calling for police to intervene, to do something, to send a strong message against abusers and perpetrators of gender-based violence.
Why did Mnisi abandon his bail application yesterday?
Well, he didn't say, and accused usually wouldn't mention or say in court why they're abandoning bail. But from what I could read while I was in the courtroom yesterday, it's clear that the community is very angry with him. In fact, when I spoke to a couple of them, they said that some of them had warned him. They'd called him and told him that if we find you have three options. It's either you hand yourself in, or it's either you come to us and we deal with you, or it's either you take your own life. So it's clear that the community is very, very angry with him, and I think that may have influenced his decision.
And of course, the families are still trying to wrap their heads around this tragedy because part of the initial reporting on this, if I may even call it that, were the social media pictures that were circulated of the young women. How's the family had to deal with that?
When I spoke to the aunts, they are shattered, Bongani, heartbroken. The aunt who didn't live very far from the two ladies says she did just seen them a short while before then, a few hours before then. One of the ladies was a makeup artist. Baleseng was a makeup artist, and she says that she'd just done her makeup, and she said to them, or she said to her, "Listen, we're gonna go and have a party now. I've done your makeup. You look good. Let me go and have a good time." So, she says she didn't imagine that would have been the last time she saw her niece. And they really are saying they're so angry, but they don't even want to come to court, Bongani, to see the accused. They are back home in Limpopo in a village called Lukau, and they are preparing for the funeral this weekend. I understand that both women will be laid to rest on Saturday.
All right, Khamuza Modise, appreciate your reporting. They're tracking that awful story coming out of Mamelodi. And it raises all sorts of questions, does it not? Once more, gender-based violence, the focus on this scourge. 2 more lives lost. This boyfriend, from the speculation at least, feeling entitled to these women and controlling them, and deciding what they would do or would not do. And when he wasn't getting his way, this is how we ended up here, it is alleged. It's a real problem, is it not?
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
How does it start, you say? How do people eventually perpetrate crimes such as this? Well, could it have its nascence in something as simple as bullying on the playground, in the school playground? Getting away with it repeatedly because schools and institutions really seem to have no idea how to handle these things, how to preempt them, how to prevent them. That's our next conversation, following on an earlier one this week. We've got 2 experts, an education specialist and a parenting coach, to talk about what schools and parents can do to protect their children from bullying before it ever leaves scars.
This is EWN.
A survivor of the Mamelodi shooting describes his ordeal, and MPs say they will make all necessary arrangements to have Ket Matlala on the hot seat. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. A 27-year-old victim who was shot during an attack that claimed the lives of 2 women in Mamelodi has told EWN that it could have only been God who saved his life. Desmond Sinong was with Tsiamo and Baliseng Moramaga moments before they were murdered in the early hours of Sunday. It's understood that Sinong and Moramaga cousins got into an argument with the alleged gunman Tebogo Mnisi, believed to be one of the women's boyfriend. Mnisi appeared in the Mamelodi Magistrates Court yesterday on 5 charges, including murder and attempted murder and firearm-related offences. Khomotso Modise sat down with Sinong in an exclusive interview and filed this report.
27-year-old Desmond Sinong says he was at the local establishment Small Konka Shisanyama in Mamelodi East on Saturday night when he bumped into cousins Tsiamo and Baleseng Moramaga, whom he says he'd met before through a friend. Sinong says he was not aware that Tsiamo's boyfriend Tebogo Mnisi was watching them.
I went back to the Shisanyama to look for my friend, and that's when I saw Tsiamo standing at the entrance with someone. I later learned that's Tebogo. I started calling for my friend, and Tebogo told me I'm being noisy, but I was drunk, so I did not pay any attention to him. I just laughed.
He says after he left the Shisanyama with Baleseng at 2:30 in the morning, they walked through the streets of Mamelodi with the intention of going to continue partying at another establishment, but they were stopped by Mnisi, who was driving with Tsiamo.
I just saw him park in front of me, open the door and cock the gun. And then he just started shooting at me.
Sinong says after he was shot in his private parts, he felt pain almost immediately, but he still managed to run, jumping into different yards on his way home out of fear that Mnisi may catch up with him and kill him. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News.
Police have made their first breakthrough in arresting a 20-year-old suspect in connection with the murder and attempted murder of 7 teenagers in Westbury. He is believed to be part of a gang that opened fire at the boys, killing 2 and leaving 5 others injured. The shooting happened at a suspected drug den last Wednesday. Police spokesperson Brenda Moridili says the suspect was arrested yesterday.
The arrest followed crucial information from Crime Intelligence Unit leading the AGU members to a high school in Diepkloof. The suspect, who was positively identified, is expected to appear before the Johannesburg Magistrates Court on Friday, 31 October 2025. Investigations are ongoing to track down the remaining suspects.
The Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee investigating police corruption is still waiting for security arrangements for alleged criminal Vusmuzi Ket Matlala to be confirmed before his appearance, which include avoiding any possible escape from custody. Matlala is currently behind bars on attempted murder charges at the Kgosi Mampuru Maximum Security Prison in Pretoria, but is still a priority witness for the committee. The committee wants Matlala to respond to allegations of interference into police matters, the disbanding of the Political Killings Task Team, and his links to people like Minister Sinzo Mchunu, as well as former Police Minister Bheki Cele. Babalondenze reports.
Vusmuzi Ket Matlala might be incarcerated on serious charges, but MPs are still expecting him to appear before the committee to answer to allegations of police corruption. Matlala has been linked to an attempt to influence the disbanding of the Political Killings Task Team through messages between him and another witness, Brown Mohotsi. But committee chairperson Servet Lechanyane says his appearance will be facilitated by correctional services and law enforcement for obvious reasons, like escaping from custody.
The security arrangement that they must make so that when a person is here must not escape in our presence and they come and say, no, you were the ones who said we must bring him here. All those things, I think they know the law and the protocol they should follow.
The committee resolved that Mohotsi must appear from the 18th of November for 3 days, with KZN Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi expected back for a second time as the last witness. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News.
And US President Donald Trump has called on military leaders in his country to resume testing US nuclear weapons to keep pace with other countries such as Russia and China. He posted on his social media platform Truth that he's doing this because other countries are conducting their testing programs. Trump says the US has more nuclear weapons than any other country, with Russia second and China a distant third. America has not conducted nuclear weapons testing since 1992. It comes just days after Trump denounced Russia for testing a nuclear-powered missile, which reportedly has an unlimited range. Gold is trading at $3,978.54 an ounce. The rand is at 17.17 to the dollar, 22.69 to the pound, 19.97 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $64.76 a barrel.
Traffic is heavily backed up on the N1 North between Nadia Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. There's also queuing traffic along the N3 North between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu Interchange. Roadworks are causing these delays.
And in your sport, Proteas captain Laura Wolvaardt smashed 169 in Marzan Cup, took 5 wickets as South Africa booked their place in the Cricket World Cup final. Liverpool are out the Carabao Cup, losing 3-0 at home to Crystal Palace. Chelsea, City, Arsenal and Newcastle all advance. And the Sharks confirm coach John Plumtree will step down at the end of the season.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with scattered showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 24 and 26 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, a 27-year-old victim who was shot during an attack that claimed the lives of 2 women in Mamelodi says it could have only been God who saved his life.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Just spoke to Eyewitness News reporter Khumudzo Modise, who sat down with the surviving victim of that awful attack over the weekend. 2 women dead, shot in Mamelodi, and the survivor gave an interview to our Khumudzo Modise. She just showed me a video. Oh, by the way, if you were watching our live stream, you may have found it odd that I was speaking to Khumudzo on the phone, who was just outside the studio. So if you're watching our YouTube live stream, Santon traffic is what it is. Khumudzo was meant to be in the studio. She's still here, actually, but just didn't make it in time. So we had to do that interview on the phone. She eventually arrived, of course, and stood outside the studio. So it's not that she's banned from the studio. It's not that she and I don't get along. Let no rumor be started on that front. But Khumudzo just showed me a video of this young chap and the 2 women at this local tavern at the weekend, having a blast, not knowing that in a matter of hours, their lives, certainly for the two young women, their lives would be over and this young man's would be shattered. How tragic, eh?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Let's take him now to the Madanga Commission of Inquiry yesterday. And it was all about the raid on Katiso Molife's residence. And of course, as I said earlier, there was some question about who was meant to be there. Was it the Hawks or was it the special task team? So Advocate Sandile Khumalo, who's one of the commissioners, questioned one Brigadier Lesiba Mokoena about why he contacted the Hawks to verify the raid at Katiso Molife's residence. Mokoena said on the day of the incident, he was somewhere else attending the Hawks Excellence Awards alongside former Hawks head Godfrey Libea and his divisional commissioner, Lieutenant General Dumisani Mboto. He then says Mboto called him after Libea approached him to inquire about the activities of Mokwena's operational team. Have a listen. It's a bit convoluted, but we're going somewhere.
Part of the SAPS. Why couldn't you call the police station in Sentin to say, can you please go to the address and find out what is happening? Why did it have to be the Hawks that go there?
The reason for sending Captain Kruger and Constable Digovea, they are my team members of the operational office within the DPCI. When instructions came, our divisional commissioner knows that I'm running an operational team that is running around all the 9 provinces. And then he did know that on that point in time when he instructed me, I having members on the ground.
On the ground where?
Around Gauteng province.
Yes, but Gauteng province is a big province. My question is, if you wanted to know if there's a police operation in Sandhurst, why did you not call the police station in Senton to verify that?
Thank you, Commissioner. When he called me, I think, according to me, he did know that I've got a team that is movable at any time.
So he's being asked, because remember there was that confusion about these two law enforcement arms arriving at this man's house. And he says, no, he was just there to confirm. Why were the Hawks there? No, we were just going to confirm if there was a police operation there. Why couldn't you pick up a phone and call Santon? No, but I was already asked to go and confirm. Have a listen. There's more.
If I'm correct, Commissioner, on page 8, is it the one that the first message that says you added Chief George?
Look at page 7. Do you see there are two in your hard copy? There's one on top, there's two, it seems like it's two WhatsApps. It says you added Brig Clanky.
Correct.
The lower one says you added Brig Clanky, and then there's a message from Brig Clanky with the information, the motor vehicle information that you had sent to Captain Kruger individually earlier on. This is now at 16:34 when this is sent.
I can see it.
By you in the WhatsApp group.
I can see it, Commissioner.
So when you said earlier that you didn't participate in that WhatsApp group, that wasn't accurate.
Commissioner, I still confirm that I didn't take part on this group chat. And then the message that I'm seeing from me, I don't know what it was. It's screenshot and copy and paste to the group.
Here he's been questioned about a WhatsApp group, right? And he's shown that he sent messages in this WhatsApp group, and he denies it, as you heard in the end. He says, no, I don't know. The message supposedly sent by me, I can't tell you if somebody didn't copy and paste and screen grab it. But now for the clincher.
If the confirmation will be there, Commissioner, I'm still maintaining that, then I will maintain that I didn't tell the truth to my best ability, Joe Commissioner.
Because finally he's shown a printout of the WhatsApp group. Isn't that the most eloquent way of saying to somebody, you lied? He says, just play it again, Palesa. You've got to memorize it, right? If you're ever caught in a lie, it's just, wow. Have a listen.
If the confirmation will be there, Commissioner, I'm still maintaining that, then I will maintain that I didn't tell the truth to my best ability, Joe Commissioner.
If the confirmation will be there, I still maintain that I didn't testify to the truth to the best of my ability. What a mouthful. How artful.
702. Up next.
The Big Interview. EWN.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, in Sharonly, we've got heavy traffic volumes along Malibongwe Drive between Witkoppen Road and the N1 exit. There's also queuing traffic in Rand Park Ridge along Beyers-Naudé Drive approaching the N1. Do remember that traffic lights are still out of order along this route while traveling within the inner city areas. We've got delays on Republic Road approaching Winnie Mandela Drive, so please be on the lookout there and expect about a 15-minute hold-up. If you're heading towards Morningside, queuing traffic on the N3 North between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baku interchange. That's due to roadworks along this route. Expect about a 20-minute hold up there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 91. Your alarm clock mysteriously turned itself off. Good luck getting over that one. Fortunately, the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, that means you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen ease traffic congestion to get you there quickly and safely. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
You could spend 10 minutes hunting for the TV remote or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. SMS out to 45142. Like 29-year-old Sana, who now pays an incredibly low 796 Rand a month for her 2025 Jetour Dashing. With Outsurance Comprehensive, you get 24/7 roadside assistance in case you break down, run out of petrol, lock your keys in the car, and more. SMS out to 45142. Get used to getting more. After switching, 65-year-old Helena now pays only 398 Rand a month for her 2025 Hyundai Exter. Not an OutSurance client yet? Get a quick and easy quote today. If OutSurance can't beat what you're paying, ask them for 500 Rand. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you have nothing to lose. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. OutSurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
The milk steamer was loud. So loud that Lungi heard hot milk instead of oat milk. It was bad. So bad. The milk didn't really sit right with the lactose intolerant customer. It was bad. So bad. Too bad they didn't have Yoko counter. With Yoko printer, orders flow straight to the barista. So good. Yoko counter. Super simple POS and payments in one. No contracts, no hidden costs.
Oh, dreamers. They love to watch the dice roll. Chasing that rush, that one big win. But then there's a different kind of player. Those who rely on strategy and not chance. Who know that winning is earned. Those people play with SportPesa. SportPesa. Make it count. SportPesa is licensed by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No person under the age of 18 permitted to gamble. National Responsible Gambling Program toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 650 710. Winners know when to stop.
702.
The Big Interview
With Bongani Bingwa.
17 after 7, bullying in schools. For families who have to live through its consequences, it isn't just a headline. It's a reality. It's a trauma. You may have seen videos from Milnerton High School. 8 older boys beating up younger pupils with belts and sticks. In Johannesburg, a 7-year-old at St. Stithians College reportedly had pencil shavings forced into her ears, leaving her with the risk of hearing damage. Very different schools, very serious incidents both. And it raises the urgent question, not only are our schools safe, but can they be made to be safe? Statistics tell us that 40% of children will experience bullying in one form or another, including, of course, cyberbullying. Can schools really protect our children? We've invited 2 experts to help us wade through what parents and what schools ought to be thinking about. We've got education specialist Hendrik Makaneta and parenting coach Ayanda Tetyana joining us to discuss how to navigate these issues. Hendrik, I'll give you the first word here. Firstly, good morning and thank you for your time. You may have seen the videos that I've referred to. I'm not sure how much you may be aware of the allegations surrounding St. Stithians. Very different schools, same story.
Definitely. Thank you very much indeed, Bongani. The bullying tendencies in schools are real. And of course, it is a cause for great concern because it talks to a wide range of issues. We know that parents are the primary, or parents as the primary caregivers have got the responsibility to look after the general well-being of their children, including mental health issues, including teaching them how to manage their emotions effectively. And South Africa is a country which has got a wide range of challenges. There are kids who, even though they may come from a solid family with a mother and a father, they still bully others. But of course, we also have kids who come from child-aided families who sometimes do not get the luxury of being mentored by parents. And so teachers come in as the secondary layer to look after the general well-being of kids and to also mold them. But it seems that we are losing the battle.
Ayanda, let me bring you into the conversation. Hendrik makes an interesting point. We often focus on the victim of bullying and try and understand their circumstances. But what creates a bully?
Yeah. So that's probably the dynamics that Hendrik was also touching on, Bongani Guti, in terms of that child who becomes the perpetrator, irrespective of they're coming from a family where they have both parents, in terms of just their actual mental health, how they are feeling loved in terms of the attachment theory, how they feel seen in their own homes. In many instances, the children who end up bullying are having their own little challenges that are making them act out in that way, which begs to say to us as parents, it's so important that when we've brought these little ones into the world, we have to make sure that we are taking care of them fully in terms of all their needs, not just physical and making sure that they have the latest phones, but their emotional, their physical well-being, so that they can feel loved.
I mean, many people grow up under incredibly difficult circumstances where perhaps they don't get the parental love or affirmation that is ideal. They don't necessarily turn out into bullies. Are bullies born or are they made?
The research shows that it's usually that they're made, and it's a lot of dynamics that influence that. It's, I'm feeling all this rage inside. Maybe I watch something on social media, and then I want to take it out on someone. And then sadly, we could even speak to that ourselves. I'm sure there's no adult who can say they haven't experienced some sort of bullying. We always talk about the importance of understanding that hurt people will hurt people. So as we are raising our children, understanding their vulnerabilities in terms of just what are they struggling with, being responsive to your child, making sure that your child feels heard when they're saying, listen, Mom, I'm having a really bad day, sitting down with them and being able to guide them and coach them through their emotional feelings so that they don't go out and show out their rage on the next child.
One of the things I think you might also agree with is that by the time a child is a bully, they would likely have had a couple of incidents that they've got away with. And so that may not be the child who's going to come and volunteer to their parent or caregiver that this is what they've been doing. How do people in their homes spot children who are bullies?
So you have to really be intentional about watching out for the early signs when it comes to your child. So you're going to be looking at their body language, usually when they're coming from school. I think the best telling sign is even in the morning when your child is about to go to school. If you notice like a withdrawal, some irritability, cramps, headaches now that are repeated, if you notice that your child is starting to have a little bit of some mood swings, you want to be very intentional as a parent to start asking, hey, babes, are you okay? Or maybe if your child doesn't really come out with it when you're asking that kind of question, make it intentional to ask them questions like, what was the best part of your day? And be very intentional to almost create a safe space where you can have this trusting situation if you start noticing that your child is acting different. And our children are very, very, you can easily see when they're struggling. You go fetch a child and their mood in terms of how they come into the car. And all of a sudden
I'm going to interrupt you there and say, hold on a minute. I'm going to play devil's advocate if you'll allow me. That perhaps all might apply even to a younger child or a child whose bullying journey is just beginning. The horrors we saw in those videos, are they beyond redemption? Can they still be rescued? Can children like that who are really monsters?
I mean, we want to advocate for a restorative approach because we understand by usually when there's a bullying that happens, it's usually coming from a place of pain for the actual perpetrator of some type. So yes, obviously there has to be a discipline, and most schools will have some type of anti-bullying policy. And this is why, as well as parents, we have to be very familiar with this. We need to be able to know that when something like this happens, how do we record, how do we communicate with our teachers, and how do we approach our teachers in a way that it's not necessarily an altercation, but it's a reporting situation where we're working in collaboration with the actual school to address some of these issues.
Hendrik, So I want to bring Hendrik into the conversation now. Hendrik, I mean, Ayanda mentions school policies. Many schools will tell you they've got a code of conduct. Are those things sufficient to prevent the kind of thing we've been seeing in these videos and that we're talking about?
Obviously not, Bongani. It's one thing to have a policy. It's just like having the law. Even if you have death penalty, that does not necessarily mean people will not commit crime. So yes, policies are there, but bullies will always be there as well.
So what do schools do?
I think what we need really, we need a strong collaborative effort between parents and teachers. I can tell you one thing, Bongani. I've been a teacher myself. You get one child at home. This is a very sweet child. The mom and the dad are not even aware.
Yeah.
But at school,
they turn into a monster.
Other kids, they turn into a monster. So even if parents are not aware, they'll continue to think that my child is behaving very well. So there is really a need for, parental meetings with parents with teachers to come and discuss the behavior of the child, the conduct of the child from time to time. And
so in many cases, Hendrik, even from what Ayanda was suggesting earlier, there might not be a parent involved in that kind of, in that child's life. There might not be a parent who, even if they are there, who will be able to attend these parent-teacher conferences. At what point should schools say, we will protect the victims, we will center the victims in the conversation and not the bullies who perpetrate these acts?
Bongani, unfortunately, when it comes to children, there is no dustbin for a human being. So in one way or the other, you have to protect both the victim and the perpetrator, because remember, you can't just, even the law does not allow that you expel a child from school. Even if you take out a child from school A, you still have to send them to school B, so that Section 29 of the Constitution of the Republic can be fulfilled, the right to education. So you have to
Surely
find
the right to safety, the right to life trumps that.
Yes, of course. Yes, you protect the innocent victim, but at the same time, you need to find a way to deal with mental health issues.
How do you protect the victim who must now sit in the same class with their abuser, ultimately?
You must have school-based support teams, such as your social workers, as well as the educational psychologists, who can be able to attend to the victim, but also to attend
Hendrik,
to
many schools don't have those resources. We know this.
That is a big cause for concern. That is why government must really work around the clock to ensure that such services are provided, especially in those poorer schools which do not have the resources.
Is it fair to say then that ultimately this bullying happens because whatever policies are in place are inadequate to deal with these bullies? There are no resources to deal with the issues in the way that the ideal scenarios on paper are presented. They get away with it. If anybody is being thrown into the dustbin, it's the victims.
Definitely. But if schools can ensure that they implement these bullying policies, I think we can move forward. At times, you find that they leave the issue, for too long. And by the time...
That's my point. They don't. Even the elite schools have been caught up in this nonsense. The elite schools, supposedly with the resources, even they can't always get a handle on this kind of thing. How much more under-resourced schools?
Definitely. Bongani, we really need... teachers also need training. Remember, some of the teachers have been trained on how to deliver the curriculum, but we also need to train them on how to handle these perpetrators, how to conduct disciplinary hearings and so on, but also the involvement of parents as well, because obviously if you take a child into a disciplinary hearing, they can't make a statement in the absence of their parents. Parents have to be available.
Hendrik Makanete, I appreciate your time. Education specialist Ayanda Tete, and I'll let you have the last word on this. It feels to me that everything we have discussed is the ideal scenario. That's what's on paper, but the reality feels like something entirely different. Ayanda?
Yeah, there is a little bit of a discrepancy there. So let me just say this, because I volunteer as an SGB in my community, and as part of that, we have a very strict anti-bullying policy, which I'm usually part of in terms of just implementing to make sure that we are protecting, the perpetrators. We are trying to give support to, and this is at a public school, by the way. So most of the opportunities to participate as part of your committees are usually looking for parents to volunteer at the public schools. So it's very important just to say to parents that we should actually volunteer at our schools as well, especially the ones that don't have all the resources. But I want to say this to you, Bongani. We as parents have a responsibility to make sure that we're always keeping in track in terms of what's happening with our children. And through that process, we need to be always giving them guidance. We need to be understanding emotionally what are the different challenges that they're going through. I want to speak to something that you mentioned in terms of just how...
Right, we've got to wrap it up. Ayanda, just make me your final point. Yeah.
You can't, as a parent, for instance, approach directly a child who's bullying your own child. I'm just making an example. Because then in that instance, then you're creating more problems in terms of the child. So understanding the school's policy. Unfortunately, at this point, this is all we have. And if you want to add more to that, volunteer to be part of the committees in the schools and be participating in bringing more policies and programs.
All right. And I appreciate your time, parenting coach and author. It all sounds lovely. It really, really does. I appreciate the points they're making. I understand codes of conduct and policies and volunteerism and getting involved and engaging your kids. But that feels very much like the ideal scenario. In reality, are kids who are bullied ultimately on their own?
EWN Business.
Let's talk logistics. Muteo Khwarepe, the global logistics giant, opening a new 1.7 billion rand facility in the Western Cape.
Yeah, Maersk has officially opened its new Balkan cold storage facility in Cape Town. Maersk invested 1.7 billion rand in the new facility, which is expected to support the local exporters and minimize losses due to logistics inefficiencies. Maersk South Africa's cold storage network now comprises 3 sites integrated with its ocean fleet on nearly 700 vessels serving 130 countries. Now, this year, Maersk also announced it would end its direct shipping services between South Africa and the United States. Now, instead of direct routes, Maersk will now use a transshipment model, rerouting cargo through European hubs, which will likely result in longer delivery times and higher costs for South African exporters.
All right, where are we in terms of your indicators?
Well, the markets were good yesterday. On Wednesday, the JSE up more than 0.5%. The rand at this hour, 17 rand 18 against the US dollar, clawing back some marginal gains there. 19 rand 98 cents against the euro, and you'll need 22 rand 69 cents to get a British pound. The price of gold up close to 1% at $3,962 an ounce, or platinum is up 1.5% at $1,600. Brent crude now at $63.98 a barrel. More business after 8.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sfisa Zulu, what you got at this hour?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Cape Town winds and storms have been battering the dome tent used as a temporary parliamentary chamber, with the skin over the entrance area now completely ripped open and exposing the interior to the elements. The damage became evident several weeks ago when the roof skins first started lifting. The structure has been unused since the end of March, during which time the Department of Public Works and Parliament have been at loggerheads over the cost involved in buying fixtures to furnish the interior. It's now been decided they will split the 25 million rand bill to repair and furnish it. Lindsay Dentlinker has more.
Erected on a parking lot across the road from Parliament in January, the dome tent was meant to serve as a makeshift chamber until construction of the new parliamentary buildings is completed next year, after a fire razed the National Assembly chamber more than 3 years ago. It cost the Department of Public Works over 6 million rand to transport and erect the dome tent in Cape Town, which was purchased for Nelson Mandela's funeral in 2013. But after being kitted out with rented furniture, lighting and sound equipment in January, it was used for a mere 2 months before it was emptied out and closed. Now, after 7 months of standing empty, the Department of Public Works is faced with repairing the weather damage. Director General Sifiso Madakane says a contractor was appointed on Tuesday and the repairs will start promptly next week.
Among the immediate priorities, we include the repairing of the existing damage to the dome, including the rips in the current skins.
Madakani says the 25 million rand price tag to acquire permanent movable infrastructure will be split equally with Parliament. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The country's magistrates are calling on President Cyril Ramaphosa to fast-track the review of their salaries. The Judicial Officers Association of South Africa says the President and the Independent Remuneration Commission are the only ones who can make the adjustments, which they say have been delayed by 17 years. The magistrates yesterday demonstrated outside Parliament to highlight salary disparities between them and High Court judges, despite having the same training and qualifications. They say they want the same benefits as judges, such as long life salaries adequate state medical aid and proper security. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
The country's magistrates have also raised concerns about the workload and vacancies not being filled. Magistrates Danny Lepan says they are constantly under a lot of stress.
We do not have judges' assistants or registrars to help us research our cases or write our cases. At the moment, nationally, our computers are down. We work on our private computers to draft our judgments. We work after hours. I've never yet written a judgment in 35 years at work. I write them at home.
Ntutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
And the city of Cape Town says more than 13,000 vehicles have been tested for high air pollution levels in the last 2 years. Tests are conducted on diesel-fueled vehicles daily by city officials to ensure that the negative effects of emissions are minimized. The Metro says dark smoke emissions from vehicles are in contravention of air quality management bylaws. The city's Community Safety Services and Health MMC, Francine Hengman, says progress has been made in reducing harmful emissions.
The city reminds motorists to please do their bit by ensuring that they maintain their vehicles regularly and make use of fuel with the lowest sulfur content.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 24 and 26 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays on Malibongwe Drive. This is in the Sharon Lee area between Beles Drive and the N1. There's also queuing traffic along the N1 South. This is just as you approach the Baklu interchange coming out of Islandale Road, while traveling on the N3 North bumper-to-bumper traffic between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu interchange.
The top story, extreme weather in Cape Town has been damaging the dome tent that's used as a temporary parliamentary chamber.
Manyatela.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
I don't think particularly that it is wrong for Julius Malema to recuse himself if that's what he's done, but I would have loved for a bit of transparency. What's wrong with Julius saying to the chair of the portfolio committee, Soviet Lekhanyani, I will not be available when Shadrach Sibia is being cross-examined because I have a relationship with him, if that's the case. Or, chair, I will not be available when Kassel Matali comes here and testifies and we have to ask him questions because he is like my father and I think I'm going to be in a compromised position. Why do you not say that? No, man, come on. So what's wrong with saying, I don't think I want to be the one that sits there with Shadrach Sibia or with Kassel Matali because I'm caught in an awkward position.
Clements Manyatela.
9 to 12 on 702.
Smart Steve from Momentum, hello.
How's it, But? It's Jason here, your favorite gymfluencer.
Jason, still lifting more than your selfie stick?
Always, But. Gotta stay shredded, eh? But, I'm worried about one thing. What if a major illness hits? Who's got my back?
Relax, Jason. Momentum's critical illness cover is your spotter. It offers the most comprehensive cover in the market.
Buddy, I'm signing up faster than I could do 10 reps. But I'm worried about something else, eh?
Let me guess. How many protein shakes it takes before you turn into the incredible bulk?
No, man. Will anyone notice if I skip a leg day?
Chat to your financial advisor about Momentum's critical illness cover. Momentum, protecting your journey to success. Momentum is an authorized financial services and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
The all-new Audi A5 has arrived with a panoramic sunroof that changes transparency and a B&O sound system built into the headrests. Every detail makes driving feel like an art form. Visit your Audi dealership, book a test drive and experience the Audi A5 from 14,499 Rand per month with a guaranteed future value. Visit audi.co.za for more. T's and C's apply. Brought to you by Audi Financial Services, a division of Volkswagen Financial Services, South Africa Pty Limited, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
Ha, guys, you must know your till slip is gonna get even longer. That new Discount Better Rewards card gets you 10% off instantly. Hey, but now, on top of that discount, you get an extra 5% off on over 140 brands. You just hand in your script or shop from the pharmacy. With 15% off instantly at the till. Your discount till slip never looked better. How nice, man.
The G20 Summit coming to Johannesburg is a stepping stone towards a brighter future for the city. Josie My Josie has launched the Babize Bonke campaign to shine a spotlight on some of the extraordinary champions who are reshaping Johannesburg from the ground up.
My name is Yumna Bukers, community activist based in Bertrams. I transform bad spaces in the community into productive vegetable gardens and provide for local soup kitchens, schools, and the needy.
Josie My Josie is making the invisible visible, giving the voiceless a voice. It's a movement for the people, by the people, creating a city that we can proudly call Josie My Josie. Come see how Josie does it. A city that's alive, ready, and rising. Prime Media and 702 are proud sponsors of Josie My Josie.
Josie My Josie's Babize Bonke champion Yumna will be interviewed on Weekend Breakfast by Gugu Mhlungu just after 9 on Saturday morning.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hello, Bonks, and hello to 702 listeners. This is Mo. The most irritating thing for me is people that don't turn on their lights when visibility is poor. When it starts to rain and it becomes dark, you need to then turn on your lights. And it's safe to drive with your lights on at most times. It is very safe because other people can see you. So that's the most irritating thing for me. And those that hit hazards and also still stay on the fast lane rather than say, well, I'll hit my hazards and be on a slower lane, and let those that can drive through the rain go past me. Thank you. Have a good one.
We're talking about good behavior as motorists, but we're also dealing with this issue of bullying. And as I said earlier, look at some of the videos that have been doing the rounds on social media. I'm not sure some of those children are still at the stage where you can say, hey, little Johnny, hey, little Janie, how was your day at school? What was the best part of your day? And I think, and I mean, I'm no professional as far as this kind of thing is concerned, but there's been a huge debate about whether or not some of these people who display sociopathic behavior are born that way, or if it's environmental factors that are heavily, the heavier influence, if you will. There are studies that show that some people have a genetic predisposition for this kind of behavior. And so if all our policies are around making sure that even the perpetrator is as protected as much as the victim, I'm not sure we're solving the problem. What's your view?
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, a chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, then 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Natasha in Florida. Natasha, what's today's answer, please?
1968.
1968. Natasha, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
I'm a member of
You're
Outsurance.
a member of Outsurance. Look at you. Well, congratulations. 1,000 Rand is coming your way. All thanks to 702 and Outsurance. There you have it. 1968 is Natasha's answer. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 8830702.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, I was outraged at the weekend. I think I may have told you this a little earlier on. It was on Saturday, I think it was. I had seen visuals because there I was lying flat on my back because my back had given out. And I'd seen part of the Australia Proteas women's game at the World Cup. And when I, after waking up after some time, I tried to look at my phone to see what the latest score would be. And I Googled South Africa versus Australia, as you might, right? If there's a current game on during a World Cup, do you know what it showed me? It showed me men's games from 3 months ago.
Yeah.
It wouldn't show me the live action that was on the go at a World Cup on that day. And that tells you we've got to do more to support women's sports.
Definitely.
If nothing else.
Definitely.
Couldn't agree more. And how phenomenal the Proteas women are being. I mean,
Right?
they're just so sensational. They're through to the Cricket World Cup final on Sunday, where they'll play either Australia or India. South Africa got their revenge. They thrashed England by 125 runs. Captain Laura Wolvaardt scored 169. That's the highest score at this World Cup. Brits made 45. Marzan Kapp made 42 and took 5 wickets and was full of praise for Wolvaardt and Brits.
Just looking at the stats of this ground and how it's been going this World Cup, I feel like they probably felt like they were going to roll us over, like we did in the first game against them. But I feel like our 2 openers set it up beautifully for us to come in and just play our natural game.
Liverpool lost to Crystal Palace 3-0 at Anfield and are out of the Carabao Cup. Liverpool coach Arne Slot rested his top players and started 3 teenagers, which he doesn't regret.
I saw there a team that maybe struggled with playing 3 games in 7 days. Again, not an excuse, but to lose that game of football, which is not a complete surprise to me if I see the struggle some players have had in pre-season and players that came from different leagues. And it's a new challenge for them to play at Premier League and Champions League level 3 games in 7 days.
Palace will meet Arsenal in the quarterfinals. Arsenal beat Brighton 2-0. Chelsea beat Wolves 4-3 and plays Cardiff. Man City got a 3-1 win over Swansea. Plays Brentford, and Newcastle beat Spurs 2-0. They'll play Fulham. Back home in the Colling Knockout Cup, Murumagalan thrashing Stellenbosch 4-0 with 2 goals from Ndlodlo and will now play Golden Arrows in the semi-finals. Orlando Pirates got Richards Bay. In rugby, there's 11 South Africans in the Barbarian side to play an All Blacks 15 this Saturday, captained by Hanro Liebenberg. In the forwards pack, Bongi Mbonambi, Asenati Ntlabakanye, Ernst van Rijn and Ruben van Heerden. Your 8th man's Evan Roos. And behind them in the Barbas pack, Rob de Preer, Bernard Bennard, Janse van Rensburg, Werner Kok and Leolin Zas. And the Sharks have confirmed John Plumtree will step down as head coach at the end of the season by mutual agreement. Plumtree will transition into a mentoring and advisory position. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. There's a crash near the waterfall area. Amma, what's going on?
That's correct, Bongani. It's on the N1 South before the Baklu interchange. Delays coming out of Islandale Road. There's also queuing traffic. In fact, bumper-to-bumper delays between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu interchange. That's due to roadworks in the Kelvin area. So routes around the Baklu this morning are heavy. Backed up due to different scenes. If you are traveling on the Mike 1 North towards Sandton, do expect about a 10-minute hold up between the Kilani Bends and Greyston Drive. That's due to peak time delays there. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North. This is between Beyasodia Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive due to peak time delays. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
You could spend 10 minutes trying to fix the office printer or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. For her 2025 Hyundai Exter, 65-year-old Helena now pays only 398 Rand a month. And for her 2024 Haval H6 4x4, 50-year-old Priya pays just 1,178 Rand a month. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is 1968. Let's go to the lines and let's have, is it Petros on the line from Midrand? Petros, what's the question?
In which year did Marvin Gaye's I Headed Through the Grapevine reach the top of the chart in the US?
Yes, indeed. 1968. It's still the best-selling version of that song. There have been a couple of others, including one by Gladys Knight and the Pips. But the definitive version is Marvin Gaye's I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Top of the charts in 1968. Congratulations, Petros. 2,000 Rand is coming your way. All thanks to Outsurance and 702.
You could have told me yourself.
57-year-old Andy knows a good deal when he sees it. With Outsurance, he now pays only 1,083 Rand a month for his 2024 Ford Ranger. And after a few minutes on the phone, Outsurance gave 48-year-old Felicity a mind-blowing premium of just 836 Rand a month for her 2020 Hyundai Tuscan. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142 today. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Clement Manyatela.
Part of the 702 family.
I'm passionate about a lot of things. I think I'm passionate about social justice, which is why I have come to do the kind of job that I do as a journalist. I'm passionate about accountability. I host the Clement Manyatela Show on Radio 702. It's between 9 and 12 midday. It is a show about everything. 702 land is vast. So don't think about it as Gauteng. I always think about 702 land as global. What irritates me is people who refuse to acknowledge when they're wrong. My favorite movie is Salt, because I'm obsessed with Angelina Jolie.
Clement Manyatela. Weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 midday.
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
It's time to hit the streets and show what you're made of. The Discovery Vitality Chicken Run, flavored by Nando's, is on Saturday, 8 November at 5. This one's pure city magic, reimagined and revitalized through Josie My Josie. You can choose 5K for fun, 10K for bragging rights. You're not ready? Haven't you sprinted for a taxi or dodged potholes or climbed stairs when the power's out? Come on, you're trained. It's easy to get there via the Gautrain to Park Station, then a free Prasa train to Ellis Park. Lace up, show up, and enter now at racepass.com.
You could do something first and still be doing it wrong. What hurts is sprinting but never making it to the finish line. Quit going in the wrong direction, because with Sunny Sixt, you can rent here and globally. Other car rental companies only have a vision to try harder. We actually deliver. While they leave you feeling blue, our budget and vibe match yours. For a tailored service offering premium at every stage, book premium car rental excellence with Sunny Sixt.
Coming up, your chance to win up to 30,000 Rand in cash. So what you got to do is WhatsApp hashtag Absa Swiper Rewards. Do so now to 067 384 0022. That's 067 384 0022. We could be calling you back to play the Absa Swiper Vault. Absa reward members that are active get an extra 5,000 Rand in cash and are automatically entered into that draw for a brand new JQ J5 Vortex. Plus, you'll get a 3 months premium car insurance from Absa Insurance on 702. Your story matters. Absa is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
At Auto & General, we understand your business is built on more than just vehicles. It's your stock, tools and equipment, and the premises where you work. Auto & General Business Insurance is designed for businesses like yours, protecting your assets against fire, theft, storms, and other unexpected events. To protect your livelihood, visit autogen.co.za and get an obligation-free business insurance quote. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Citroen. Buy an aircraft from 279,000 Rand or a C3 from 262,000 with a service plan, and you'll get a 4-month payment holiday. Visit citroen.co.za. T's and C's apply. Amo?
Bongani, there's more than a 10-minute hold-up on the R21 north in the Tembisa area heading towards the city of Tshwane, just as you approach Olifantsfontein Road. That's due to an earlier accident along this route as well as roadwork, so please be on the lookout there and drive with care. If you're traveling on the N1 south in the Waterfall area, we still have got that accident reported right near the Baklu interchange. Delays coming out of Allendale Road. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Thinking about rolling in a new Citroen C3?
Did you just pause the ad?
Yep, like how we pause your installments. That's 4 months, no payments.
I got you. And the C3's got rear sensors, reverse camera, a warranty, and service plan.
Press pause on payments and play on life. Get the Citroen C3 from 264,500 and enjoy a 4-month payment holiday. Visit citroen.co.za. T's and C's apply.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Time for the world of viral content. Kabazela. You have to unmute the button, bud. See there? Kabazela. He's gone viral for missing.
Bongles, can you hear me?
There you go.
Hello. Goodness gracious.
There's an
hello.
There's an unmute
Earth
button.
to the studio. Hello. Can anyone hear me?
There's an unmute button, bud. All right, let's get cracking. Is that a dinosaur?
Yeah, this was very funny, I must say. So the mother has gone and bought a scorpo, and it's there on a plate in the lounge on the table, and the little one probably is not used to it or hasn't seen it before, and it's the meat that's still on the skull. And this kid comes over and asks, "What is this?" And this is what the conversation went down, or how it went down.
What do you call this?
Eh?
What do you call this?
It's a smiley.
Smiley what?
It's food.
What is it? It's a dinosaur.
It's a what?
Dinosaur.
No, it's not a dinosaur.
Shame.
What is it?
Shame.
It's a dinosaur. It's a dinosaur, but it's a delicious dinosaur. You will find out one day. So I thought that was quite a cute video to discuss, Bongles, and I wanted to ask our 702 family this morning, when you've introduced unfamiliar foods to the youngsters, what is their reaction? Are they quite keen to try it? Are they adventurous? Or do they like shut down completely and say, no, dinosaurs, not eating dinosaurs? Like some of the unfamiliar stuff when you've said to them, try this, have a taste of this. What do you think of this? Are they keen? Are they not? And what are some of the memorable reactions that you have or can remember?
Introducing unfamiliar foods to kids, how did they react? Are they adventurous? Do they want to embrace it or do they not? And let's talk reading in public, Kabazela.
Now, if you read books in public, so if you're on the plane, if you're on a train, if you're in the taxi, whatever it may be, and you've got a book with you, you may have a book sometimes that, when you're reading certain sections, it just hits you. There's a sad part in that book, and books have that they can hit you in the heart. So you may get some tears that happens and you just can't help it. And you didn't expect that part in the book. So this video that's gone viral is a woman, she's sitting on a train and one of her friends is filming her reading this book. And she is sobbing, shame. She's really crying. Her eyes are red, her face is red, etc., etc. And people say that, those who read books on public transport will know this feeling, right? And you just can't help those tears in front of people. And I had a look. The book that she was reading, I don't know if anybody has read this book. It's called A Little Life by Hanya Hangahira. Hanagahira. That's the author. A Little Life. Must be a very, very, very sad book. So I wanted to ask, what is that book that you have read that made you cry in public, that you didn't know it was going to be sad, or a book that's just made you cry in general?
I'm more likely to laugh in public from a book than to cry, but let's put it out there to 702 land. That's what's gone viral with Kabazela.
702.
702.
Feedback
With Rupfiwa Kone.
Rupfiwa, how
Yes.
adventurous are your little ones with new foods? Things they haven't eaten or seen before?
I'm lucky to have children who don't have allergies and all those funny things, and they are really adventurous. They like to explore. They like to try new things.
The other thing is there are many of us who live a very Western life in the big cities, and we eat very Western food. And so when we bring out traditional foods, which we eat every now and again, our kids go, nah.
Maybe the way they look in the presentation at first, but you encourage them. Hey, just have a bite.
Green nyama. Do you know green nyama? Green yama.
What about mashonja?
That's what my daughter and my niece said when they first had to eat tripe. They said, "No, we're not eating green yama."
Green yama. Why was
they
it
call
green?
it green yama?
Okay.
Mukhodu.
Mukhodu is green, guys.
Have you not seen the?
The
Oh gosh.
Okay, no.
Do you eat
Maybe.
mukhodu? That's the question. What other feedback do you have?
Oh, well, Bongani, listeners are reacting to your big interview saying that we can't leave parents out of the equation. Children learn the type of behavior from their households first before they get out. They mimic.
I understand some households and homes may be difficult environments, but I can't think of a parent who would deliberately teach their kids
No,
this
not
behavior.
that they do it deliberately, but the behaviors, the way they behave around the children, maybe the way you talk to other people.
Or your
that's-
spouse in
yes.
front of your children.
Yes, and that's what the children pick up. And
fair
they say
enough.
that we've also lost the social responsibility to raise our children as a community. We used to live in a time where it was easy to call a child to order and not have another parent come up and say, "Don't talk to my child like that." But now we seem to have this right to say, "It's my child. I want to parent my child my way." And it sort of
It
leaves
sounds
us
cute until someone is shouting at your kids.
for the wrong thing, trying to put my child in order.
Yeah.
I definitely would not mind. I will not stand up for my child doing something wrong and another adult is seeing it and calling it out. I will not defend my child in situations like that. Not at all.
Tricky. It's tricky. I mean, I still want the adult to call out the wrong behavior.
Yeah.
But tell me and I'll deal with it.
But that takes too long, Bongani. We're
Let's
talking
put it
about
out
here
there.
and now.
Let's put it out there. Are you agreeing with Rafiwa? I suspect many people will. Do you agree with me? It sounds cute until it's some grown-up person yelling at your child. Or maybe that's what we've lost. I don't know. Let's talk about it.
This is EWN.
Another crash claims more lives on the country's roads, and a man details how he survived a gun attack in Mamelodi. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. 8 people have been killed in a crash involving a truck and a taxi on the N3 between KwaZulu-Natal and the Free State. It happened in the early hours of this morning, and it's resulted in traffic congestion between Van Reenen and Swineburne. The road has also been closed to allow rescue teams to do their work, and officials are appealing to motorists to be patient and exercise extra caution. Spokesperson for KZN's MEC for Transport and Human Settlements, Ndabezi Nhlesibia.
We are saddened by the death of 8 people in a horrific accident along the N3 Van Reenen Pass. The MEC has indicated that the RTI team working with the SAPS accident unit will be investigating to determine what could have happened.
A Mamelodi man who was shot in his private parts during an attack that claimed the lives of 2 women has told EWN that his life may never be the same. Desmond Sinong has been recovering in hospital after he was shot along with Baliseng and Siamo Moromaga at the weekend. Sinong says he was partying with the women at a Shisanyama in Mamelodi East and was not aware that their boyfriends or one of their boyfriends was allegedly jealously watching them. Debo Mnisi accused the shooting of the victims, who was accused of shooting the victims, made a brief court appearance in the Mamelodi Magistrates Court yesterday and abandoned his bail. Khomotso Modise sat down with the victim for an exclusive interview and filed this report.
Desmond Sinong says immediately after Debo Khomnisi stopped him and Baliseng while they were walking through the streets of Mamelodi at around 2:30 in the morning on Sunday, the gunman allegedly swore at him and shot him twice.
I
started running away and I bumped into some guys who were sitting in a polo. I told them I'd been shot and asked them for help, but they drove away. I think they were also scared because they heard the gunshots.
Sinong has told the EWN that before the attack, he was dancing with both women at a Shisanyama called Small Konka in Mamelodi East, but he had no intention of pursuing them romantically. He says after he managed to run, his neighbors took him to hospital.
The doctor told me I've lost 1 testicle, so I may not be able to have any more children, or I may struggle.
Sinong, who has 1 daughter and plans to have more children, says he's devastated by the news. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News.
Public Works Minister Dean McPherson says he has not been deliberately snubbing Parliament's Portfolio Committee, neither is he refusing to hand over a forensic report into a hospital oxygen supply tender awarded by the Independent Development Trust. Parliament's Portfolio Committee yesterday blocked department officials from presenting a summary of the report, saying they want the actual document. But McPherson says he can't do that while the scope of the investigation has been extended or expanded to include the health department officials, and while criminal and disciplinary proceedings are still ongoing. Lindsay Dentlinker reports.
The Portfolio Committee's relationship with Minister Dean McPherson has since his appointment become increasingly acrimonious, as meetings of the committee often clash with those of Cabinet. But McPherson says he's explained in letters to the committee chairperson why he can't release the findings of the PricewaterhouseCoopers report into the Independent Development Trust, all of which have gone unanswered.
There is an ongoing disciplinary hearing, and that the Hawks are investigating the matter criminally. And so you cannot just put big pieces of evidence like that into the public until those matters have concluded.
He's defended a decision to release a summary of findings to the public through the media, saying he owed the public an explanation for the alleged corruption.
If we had waited any longer, because Parliament was in recess then, some of the problems that we had seen in the IDT would have persisted.
Committee chairperson Carol Perry has demanded the committee be presented with a forensic report by Friday. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And US President Donald Trump has called on military leaders in his country to resume testing US nuclear weapons to keep pace with other countries such as Russia and China. He posted on his social media platform Truth that he's doing this because the countries are conducting their testing programs. Trump says the US has more nuclear weapons than any other country, with Russia second and China as distant third. America has not conducted nuclear weapons testing since 1992. It comes just days after Trump denounced Russia for testing a nuclear-powered missile, which reportedly has an unlimited range. Gold is trading at $3,978.54 an ounce. The rand is at 17.17 to the dollar, 22.69 to the pound, 19.97 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $64.76 a barrel.
And in the traffic in Tembisa, we still have got roadworks along the R21 north right near Oliphants-Fontaine Road, causing about a 15-minute hold-up coming out of the R25. Please be patient along this route. While traveling in a Waterfall City, we still have got that accident. It's on the N1 South right near the Baklu interchange, delays coming out of Allendale Road.
And in your sport, the Proteas will wait to see if they'll meet Australia or India in the Women's Cricket World Cup final. Carling Knockout Cup semi-final will be Pirates against Richards Bay, and Kalans got Arrows. And an Australian teenager has died after being struck in the neck during cricket practice. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng, with showers expected today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 24 and 26 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: 8 people have been killed in a crash involving a truck and a taxi on the N3 between KwaZulu-Natal and the Free State.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Eight minutes after 8 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast on this Thursday. It's the 30th of October, the year of our Lord, 2025. Awful story, yet another fatal crash on our roads. 8 people killed on the N3. A truck and a minibus taxi between KwaZulu-Natal and the Free State. That accident happening in the early hours of this morning. And of course, that means there will be congestion between the Van Reenens Pass, or at least from around the Van Reenens Pass. The road closed, allowing rescue teams to do their work. And one wonders if that death toll is going to go up. A little earlier on, we were talking about the things that absolutely get your goat when it comes to road users and what people do. Whenever you see someone just driving erratically, 90% of the time, my contention is that they're on the phone. People who let their kids stand up on the passenger seat unbuckled, or they even let them stand up sitting in front of them as they drive. Pets, heads out of the window with no one holding that dog. You know what the other controversial thing is? People don't think that if they sit in the back, they need their seatbelt. It is just the most unbelievable thing. I insist when I'm in my car, please put on your seatbelt. No, but I'm sitting in the back.
You know those crash tests, those videos, that's the thing that made me learn, how important it is to have a seatbelt, even
in the back.
At the back, but also just putting bags in the back seat. Things like suitcases, briefcases. In an accident, that turns into a very, very dangerous weapon.
So what? Go look at crash test dummies.
Yeah.
Right? Crash test dummy videos, and you'll learn.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Walking the talk, taking your calls on 011 883 0702, your WhatsApp voice notes on 072 702 1702. Let's start with Yusuf in Lenasia. We're talking about school bullying a little earlier on, and I'm getting the sense that many schools and interventions operate in a very idealized environment, and they don't necessarily consider the realities in the classroom, in the school, and the victims are the ones who are suffering. Am I wrong, Yusuf?
No, you're not wrong, Bongani. First of all, good morning to you, to your team, and to the listeners. You know, my two kids have been through it. They're out of school now. They've matriculated, and that. And I personally feel it starts from the teachers per se. With regards to bullying and that, the teachers overlook a lot of it. And if you don't come from an influential family, they stuff and they overlook it. And if it does not blow out of proportion from the bully, from the person that has been bullied, they sweep it underneath the carpet. I've had experiences with my daughter. I've had experiences with my son. It came to a stage where, rumors were going around that my son was bullying me, in the community and with the teachers and that sort of things, and the rumors went so much that they wanted to expel him in his matric year. And I had to get a lawyer involved to say, you know what, that was not the case. And everybody overlooked it, and they made my son a bad person, and we couldn't, there was no, in your matric year, which school is going to take you and that. And it does become an issue. And what do you do in that instant? And at times the bully becomes the person that has been bullied becomes the bullier. I'm not sure if I'm making sense.
Look, I think, Yusuf, your particular circumstances might have a uniqueness to them that perhaps aren't readily shared by others. But nonetheless, as you say, one of the dangers around this issue is that those in authority, even schools, tend to minimize this, and it's swept under the rug, and it's not treated with the seriousness it deserves. And then it can escalate into the kind of scenarios you are talking about. It really is a concern. It's a real worry.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hey Bongani, I once brought Abangina, and my daughter was still young, and she said to me, "Mommy, is this dog's feet?" And I was like, really? Can I really feed her with dog's feet? And even today, she doesn't eat that. And I thought it's a delicacy, but yeah.
Good morning, Bongani and team.
I remember when I first introduced chicken feet to my son. He was about 3 years old at the time, and his first reaction when he called them was, no, he doesn't eat crocodiles. He used to call chicken feet crocodiles, but he tried them, he liked them, and up to today, he still likes chicken feet, but he doesn't forget that those are crocodiles. Tsepo from Proteatlen.
Chicken feet. So do you have that traditional food that you've eaten your whole life? You took it for granted your kids would fall in line and enjoy it, and when you introduce it to them, they ask you questions like, we heard in Kabazela's video, what is that? A dinosaur. This is a sheep's head. The child is looking at us, and the mother says, Kismaili. He says, what? What is that? A dinosaur. Mutel, how open are your kids to eating, I suppose the little one, probably not yet.
Not yet.
To eating traditional food?
No, little Rumo loves traditional food, and that's because he spent, at least from 2 years old, a lot of time with my parents, and any traditional food they made, he ate. He's had troubles, though, with getting used to ding, which is sorghum pap.
An acquired taste?
The brown pap. Yeah, he calls it brown pap. And but now he eats it. It took some time.
And, Amo, your kids?
They're not problematic at all. Anything they eat. In fact, my daughter's favorite is chicken hearts. She eats it as a snack, with pap, as a meal. And she would even randomly ask for chicken hearts. So my kids are open to everything.
No green yama in your house?
Nah, no green yama.
No. What I love is Robfua not understanding why kids would call tripe green yama.
EWN Traffic.
16 after 8. This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, we've got delays in Tembisa Bongani on the R21 North. That's due to roadworks near Olifantsfontein Road. In fact, Olifantsfontein Road in itself is heavily backed up towards the R21 turn off. While traveling on the N1 South, we still have got that accident near the Baklu interchange. It's causing delays coming out of Allendale Road. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike 1 North between the Kilani Bends and Grayston Drive. Peak time delays there. I'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a parent and a nervous but excited kid practicing her lines to put on a show-stopping performance at the school play. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a future superstar on the move. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays
12 to 1.
Chapman's Peak Drive remains closed off to traffic. This is for alien vegetation clearing. If you come across any other traffic issues, behave.
Out, all of you vegetarians, out!
Please WhatsApp us
Meat
on.
only. Eat the meat.
Can I finish, please?
Carrot, cabbage, broccoli, some vegetables for you and me.
The Midday Report
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
For the first time ever, the G20 summit is being hosted on African soil, a global moment of solidarity, equality and sustainability. Africa is at the center. Tune in tomorrow between 6 and 9 for the G20 Correspondence Desk on 702. And it's brought to you by RMB and FNB, proud sponsors of this year's G20 summit. The latest news, views, insights, breakthroughs from the summit. The G20 Correspondence Desk on 702, brought to you by RMB and FNB divisions of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
What you're hearing isn't a traffic accident. It's not panic braking. It's our amazing car-stopping 40th birthday deals. For a limited time only, Auto & General is offering great savings with our 40th birthday Ruby deals. Celebrate with us by visiting autogen.co.za for great personal and business car insurance savings. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online. Offer available for a limited time only.
Work continues on the N17 Tonk meter section in the city of Ekurhuleni, crews are milling and resurfacing more than 30 kilometers of road using advanced methods that recycle existing material for a cost-effective and sustainable upgrade. So far, over 18,000 tons of asphalt have been placed, and with more than 158 million rand set aside for small businesses, the project is boosting local jobs and skills too. Drive cautiously. Better roads are on the way. Sunrail, an agency of the Department of Transport.
PG Glass Repair, PG Glass Replace.
I'm Delani, PG Glass Technician. Got a chip? With our advanced tools and high-tech equipment, we can repair it.
World-class repair technology only at PG Glass. Visit pg.co.za.
Get ready to win up to 30,000 Rand cash plus a shot at a JQ J5 Vortex with Swiper by Absa Rewards and 702.
Bum 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 bum. It's time to play the Absa Swiper Vault here on 702. Up to 30,000 Rand up for grabs. So we asked you to WhatsApp hashtag Absa Swiper Rewards to 067 384 0022. Now if we call you back, the Absa Swiper Vault will open. Cash will come rolling in. Shout swiped before it closes and everything is yours. Absa Rewards members stand to win an extra 5,000 Rand in cash and go into the draw for a brand new JQ J5 Vortex plus 3 months premium car insurance from Absa Insurance. On 702, your story matters. Absa is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. Now, if you pay with your Visa card, you could earn your share of 120 million Rand in real cash back from Absa Rewards until 15 January. Of course, as I say, if you enter the Absa Swiper competition, you could drive away in one of those brand new JQ J5 Vortex cars. Today we're playing with Priscilla. Priscilla, a very good morning to you. Are you ready to play the Absa Swiper Vault?
Good morning, Bongani. Yeah, I'm ready.
Do you want to practice saying swiped?
It's swipe or swipe.
Swiped. Shall we practice?
Swipe.
1, 2, 3, say swiped.
Swipe.
1, 2, 3, say swiped.
Swipe.
Swiped.
Swipe.
That's what you've got to say before the vault closes, ne? So listen to the amounts. You'll keep whatever is yours until you say swiped, unless the vault closes before you do. All right, here we go, Priscilla.
Okay.
Good luck. Let's open the Absa Swiper Vault.
Welcome to Swiper Vault with Absa Rewards. The vault is now open. 10,000 Rand. 2,000 Rand. 3,000 Rand. 4,000 Rand. 6,000 Rand.
Swipe.
After all that practicing, Priscilla.
Yes, I swiped.
Did you swipe?
Yes, I did.
Did you swipe, Priscilla?
I did, Bongani. Oh, God, I did.
Hi, Priscilla. Didn't it close?
Yeah, I did. But no, I said swipe, Bongani.
Hi, Priscilla. When?
When it said 6, I said swipe.
Tell me, Priscilla, are you an Absa Rewards member?
Yes, I am.
And have you swiped your Absa Visa card since the 1st of October?
Yes, I have.
Do you know what that means?
What does it mean?
I'm throwing in an extra 5,000 Rand on top of the 25,000 Rand you've already won. Priscilla, you are walking away with 30,000 Rand in the Absa Vault.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
30,000 Rand.
How much?
30,000. 30. 30.
Oh, thank you so much, Bongani. Oh, God.
One last question,
Yes.
Priscilla. Do you have a valid driver's license?
Yes, I do.
Guess what?
Yeah.
We are going to enter you into that draw for a brand new JQ J5 Vortex. And if you win, you'll even get 3 months premium car insurance from Absa Insurance.
I'm speechless. Oh,
You're going to go to work
I'm
today?
shaking.
Are you going to go to work
I'm
after this?
shaking.
Take unpaid leave. You can afford it. Congratulations, Priscilla, walking away with 30,000 Rand and a chance, of course, to go into that draw. Catch us again tomorrow for another chance to win.
Thank you for swiping.
702,
now
The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
Let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam Gilchrist, a very good morning to you. Let's start with this incredible raid by police in Brazil, in Rio.
Quite an extraordinary thing, yeah, in the northern suburbs of Rio. So I suppose we're not quite amongst the swanky hotels or on the Copacabana, but still, the police were targeting the Red Command gang, El Comando Vermelho, who responded as the police moved in with gunfire and setting fire to barricades and dropping bombs from drones as well. And we now know the death toll has doubled, basically, as they've counted up the bodies, and at least 132 people were killed during so-called Operation Containment. There are a number of police officers amongst the dead. I think it was 4 at the last count, but 132 dead, dozens of people injured. Civilians were also caught up in the crossfire, although one prosecutor did put it like this, that is a part of Rio where you wouldn't go for a casual walk. So they're suggesting that to be there was to imply guilt anyway. There have also been 80 arrests. The UN Human Rights Office has called the police operation horrifying, and even President Lula da Silva has suggested that he's surprised and shocked by the numbers involved. But I mean, it's difficult to feel bad for bad guys, but if they're all bad guys that they've been killed, yeah, it's still a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah, but I also understand some of the officers were also killed in that raid. So a really intense one. And let's go now to the Middle East. The Israelis continuing to kill Gaza's children.
Yeah, 104 Palestinians were killed in the latest series of Israeli airstrikes, and the airstrikes took place north, middle, and south in Gaza. So there weren't very many places that wouldn't have been rumbled by the explosions or seen the smoke. And 104 dead and dozens injured is quite a death toll, given that we're meant to be in a ceasefire. Now, Israel says it was provoked on 2 fronts, that one of its own soldiers was killed, they say, by Hamas terrorists, and also 2, that the Hamas, they feel, is still dragging their heels over returning the bodies of hostages, and therefore put the 2 together. Israel says it's justified in retaliation. Donald Trump maintained nothing would jeopardize the ceasefire, but that Israel should hit back if it was targeted, which is a kind of open door, I suppose, in this instance, isn't it? I did look it up. There is no legal definition of a ceasefire, interestingly, although we all know it's meant to mean that people stop shooting at each other and dropping bombs on each other, but no legal definition. I wonder if there is a loophole somehow in all of this.
Yeah, the 46 children killed in this particular strike in Gaza might have appreciated a legal definition if it would have helped. Adam, let's talk now about a cruise ship tourist left behind to die.
Yeah, this shouldn't happen, should it? Yes. So this is a group on a cruise ship called the Coral Adventurer going off around Australia. And it pulled up at Lizard Island, one of the islands on the Great Barrier Reef, so out in the Pacific Ocean. And a shore party went ashore. A group of tourists thought they'd have a look. We're climbing up to a little mini peak on this island. And an 80-year-old woman said, you know what, I'll just have a rest. And sort of peeled off to one side and took her time. The rest carried on doing their hike. And then they carried on back to the ship without her. Nobody seems to have gone to look for her. Nobody did a numbers count. The ship set off at sunset, leaving this poor 80-year-old woman behind. They did notice, or at least somebody on board the ship noticed and raised the alarm. The ship returned several hours later, but it's the middle of the night by then. A helicopter apparently had gone in as well and was hovering. They couldn't find her, so a shore party went the next morning and found her dead. Now, I don't think anyone's suggesting foul play, but still, 80-year-old woman on her own overnight on a little island in the Great Barrier Reef. Doesn't look good, does it?
Unbelievable negligence at the very least. Adam Gilchrist will leave it there for today's Worldview.
EWN Business.
So, Horipe, we have a deal. It's the best deal. There's never been a deal like it before. There'll never be another deal like it again. The best deal. Biden. Biden couldn't do it.
But I
deal with China. Tell me about the deal with China.
Yeah, US President Donald Trump says Washington and Beijing have reached a one-year agreement on rare earths and critical minerals, while the US has agreed to cut fentanyl tariffs on China. Trump summed up the meeting with President Xi as amazing and that a lot of decisions were made. Now, China has tightened export controls on rare earths and related technologies this year, while barring its citizens from participating in unauthorized mining overseas. So why are rare earths so important? They are key in producing things like renewable energy through turbines and electric vehicle batteries, advanced electronics for smartphones and laptops, as well as defense systems for radar and guidance systems. So China has been holding back those rare earths as the basically this Trump war has continued between the two countries. China is also set to resume purchases of American soybeans and other agricultural products, which they had paused as the trade dispute waged between the world's largest economies.
Now, Astral Foods reporting tasty results.
Yeah, Astral Foods has managed to turn around a weaker first half performance in its 2025 financial year, with the chicken producer projecting earnings growth of around 17%. Astral is the largest integrated poultry producer in the country, known for brands like Goldie Chicken, County Fair and Mountain Valley. Headline earnings per share are expected to be between 5 and 15%. The company is having a better second half of the year, supported by an increase in broiler slaughter numbers and higher poultry sales.
So they're the ones making all the crocodiles.
Yeah, all the crocodile chicken feet.
All right, is the rand running like chicken feet?
Yeah, it definitely is. This morning, 17 rand 17 cents, gaining against the US dollar at 19 rand 96 cents against the euro and 22 rand 70 cents against the British pound. Price of gold marching towards the $4,000 mark at $3,961. Platinum at $1,576 an ounce, while Brent crude is at $64.55 a barrel. Stephen Protes will handle business this afternoon.
In that case, consider it handled. Let's see if Swiso Zulu is in the news booth with a story. Good morning, Swiso.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. 8 people have been killed in a crash involving a truck and a taxi on the N3 between KwaZulu-Natal and the Free State. It happened in the early hours of this morning, and it's resulted in traffic congestion between Van Reenen and Swineburne. The road has been closed to allow rescue teams to do their work, and officials are appealing to motorists to be patient and exercise extra caution. Spokesperson for the KZN MEC of Transport and Human Settlements, Ndabezinhle Sibia.
We are saddened by the death of 8 people in a horrific accident along the N3 Van Reenen Pass. The MEC has indicated that the RTI team working with the SAPS accident unit will be investigating to determine what could have happened.
Some of the country's magistrates say they fear for their lives every day in and outside of courtrooms. In the past 2 months, 2 men were shot and killed in separate gang-related attacks outside the Mitchells Plain and Athlone Magistrates Court in Cape Town. And in April, a man was shot dead inside the Wynberg Magistrates Court in the city. Magistrates protested at Parliament yesterday, while others picketed outside their various court buildings to raise concerns about safety in and around lower courts. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
In April 2021, a magistrate presiding over the case involving alleged underworld figure Nafiz Modek was shot and wounded at a car wash in Mfuleni. Magistrate Mondli Ntlangulela from Durban says the situation is the same everywhere.
Sometimes we deal with dangerous people, or sometimes we deny bail to a certain person, then a certain member of the family might not be happy. When you walk out the cage, you walk out alone. You go to your house, you are alone then.
Magistrates Danny Lepan has called for their security to be beefed up.
We'd love to be protected like judges who have separate entrances and separate lifts. We don't have it.
Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
Cape Town winds and storms have been battering the dome tent used as a temporary parliamentary chamber, with the skin over the entrance area now completely ripped open and exposing the interior to the elements. The damage became evident several weeks ago when the roof skins first started lifting. The structure has been unused since the end of March, during which time the Department of Public Works and Parliament have been at loggerheads over the costs involved in buying fixtures to furnish the interior. It's now been decided they will split the 25 million rand bill to repair and furnish it. Lindsay Dentlinger reports.
Erected on a parking lot across the road from Parliament in January, the dome tent was meant to serve as a makeshift chamber until construction of the new parliamentary buildings is completed next year, after a fire razed the National Assembly chamber more than 3 years ago. It cost the Department of Public Works over 6 million rand to transport and erect the dome tent in Cape Town, which was purchased for Nelson Mandela's funeral in 2013. But after being kitted out with rented furniture, lighting and sound equipment in January, it was used for a mere 2 months before it was emptied out and closed. Now, after 7 months of standing empty, the Department of Public Works is faced with repairing the weather damage. Director General Sifiso Madakane says a contractor was appointed on Tuesday and the repairs will start promptly next week.
Among the immediate priorities, we include the repairing of the existing damage to the dome, including the rips in the current skins.
Madakane says the 25 million rand price tag to acquire permanent movable infrastructure will be split equally with Parliament. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And Johannesburg Public Safety MMC Mgcini Chwaku is calling for urgent interventions to end the ongoing spat between the Metro Police and SAPS officers. This follows a number of arrests carried out by different law enforcement agencies against each other. At a media briefing yesterday, senior JMPD officials shared the impasse and said that it threatens communities' trust in officers. Ntokozo Khumalo was there.
Last week, 7 police officers were arrested by the JMPD's Tactical Reaction Unit for the alleged kidnapping and extortion of illegal miners in Johannesburg. The arrest followed an incident which SAPS apprehended 4 JMPD officers and 2 illegal miners in Berkensdale on charges including attempted theft and trespassing. Following this arrest, MMC for Public Safety Mgcini Chwaku accused SAPS of acting unlawfully, while SAPS maintained that their actions were legal. Speaking during a media briefing yesterday, Chwaku explained where he thinks the tension started.
But the problem starts at the bottom of the ground forces. The clash that is actually happening there, but there must be a mediation. And of course, there have been sort of those tensions between ourselves and how we work in there.
Chwaku added that the city remains committed to improving working relations between all law enforcement agencies. Ntokozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 24 and 26.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North between the Yelands Interchange and Van Buren Road due to an accident between these 2 points. There's also queuing traffic along the Mike 1 North between the Killarney Bends and Greyston Drive.
The top story this hour. 8 people have been killed in a crash involving a truck and a taxi on the N3 between KZN and the Free State.
So you thought you were building a business in this economy, but day by day, somehow it grew. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore. It's who you are. And you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
Who says everyday driving can't be très chic? Rent premium with Sani Sixt now. Own the stylish Citroen C3 later. Yes, that's 3 cars, 3 months, 3 chances to say ooh la la. Just book directly on sani.co.za. Call us or rent at any branch between 1 November and 31 January, and you're automatically entered into the draw. Bon voyage with Sani Sixt and win. T's and C's apply.
Standard Bank and 702 have joined forces to bring you China Unlocked.
So China is very dynamic and it's a massive market, as you can imagine. There's about 1.4 billion people, 23 provinces that you would be navigating as an exporter. So the Africa-China trade solutions, or what we refer to as the ACT solutions, are designed to simplify and accelerate trade between Africa and China. It's a combination of financial solutions, trade facilitation, market access support, all under one umbrella.
Don't miss China Unlocked on 702 Drive with John Perlman. Tuesdays on 702. Brought to you by Standard Bank Business and Commercial, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning. My son went to a school in Benoni called Woodlands College, and he was bullied from grade 1 all the way through to grade 12. I approached the school, I approached the headmaster, I approached the parents. Nothing was ever done. My child is 30 years old and still bears the scars of being bullied, and I don't believe that there's anything that can be done in today's society other than taking those children who bully children and laying charges of some sort against the parents so that there is a much more serious outcome rather than trying to have a soft approach.
The entire system is set up, I think, to protect the perpetrators. You're lucky if, and the thing about this kind of thing is, how many schools do you have to take your child out of? Because some parents just immediately think, let me take the kid out of the environment which fosters this kind of thing. But if it happens elsewhere at another school, how many kids are going to be taken out? Whilst the bully, of course, continues their merry life. So whatever the reasons, whether it is because the bully wasn't loved enough or isn't given enough attention or comes from a home that has got challenges, it seems to me, because there's no sanction against them, they carry on. And it's the victims who are left with the scars. I mean, I've had Facebook requests from people who are quite nasty to me at school. And I think, you don't remember. You really, really don't remember. Because they've carried on with their merry lives, haven't they?
EWN Sport.
Cindy, let's talk about more exciting things.
No. I think it's very important that I jump in here. I've got a podcast called The Teen Junction, which you can find on Prime Media Plus, and we address all these kind of topics around teenagers. And the real sad reality for me is, park this story aside, of the 6-year-olds. The sad story for me is that when we were at school, if you were bullied, the bullying ended at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when the bell rang.
Yeah.
And now you've given your children devices, and your children are holding devices, and your children are basically being bullied 24 hours a day because the bully now has access to them at home. So when your child was being bullied, you could go home and you could kind of go, well, okay, till tomorrow. Right? Now your child's being bullied 24/7. And as parents, you have to take control of that. You have to monitor your children's phones. I also need to say that if you or your child needs counseling, there are services in Johannesburg, like the Johannesburg Parents and Child Counseling Centre, known as JPCCC. There's the Teddy Bear Clinic, because everybody thinks you can't afford therapy, you can't afford help. There are places like that who will reach out. For adults, there's Lifeline Johannesburg that you can reach out to. It's very important, because as you just heard that man say, 30 years on, his child is still suffering.
The scars.
So there is counseling and there is help for those who have been bullied. And then in my capacity as a parent, nothing infuriates me more than a school that protects a bully.
And they do.
And the thing is, they think it's so easy for us to take our children out of a school environment. And you know what the problem is as well? Okay, park that aside. Okay, this parent didn't have a good experience at the school. 9 times out of 10, you can't fault the school. It's the bully that's the problem. But the bully, by law, is allowed to stay and is protected. So your poor child is now the victim because somebody else's child.
Yeah, I understand you can't expel the kid because the law doesn't allow that. But I do think there's got to be some serious engagement with the family of the bully, including things like suspensions for periods of time, or at least to remove the bully from that environment so they can still come to school, but maybe they're not exposed and they've got some time to think and reflect on what it is that they've done. But the schools can't just put their hands up in the air and say, well, the law says.
And the majority
Right?
of schools will then accept the child back on condition, exactly like in this case where they do have play therapy. Because this child is very young, and the only way this child can learn is if this child is guided. Right? We could be here for 4 hours again.
Let's talk the Proteas, or
Okay.
at least the World Cup.
The Cricket World Cup today. Australia's playing India, and the winner of that will play the Proteas in Sunday's final. Yesterday, if you missed it, if you've been under a rock, the Proteas women booked their place in Sunday's final. They thrashed England by 125 runs. They're now no stranger to World Cup finals. They played in the 2023 T20 World Cup final. They played in the 2024 T20 World Cup final, ironically losing to Australia and India. And now we're through to an ODI final as well. Here's Mamelodi Cup.
We've just been so blessed to have performed the way we have over the last couple of years, but very proud of the girls and the way we've been performing over the last couple of years. Not a lot of people gave us or believed in us, and look, the job is still not done, but we'll enjoy it tonight.
Australian teenager Ben Austin has died after he was hit by a cricket ball in the neck during a net practice session. 17-year-old who was wearing a helmet was struck by an accidental full toss, the same way Aussie cricketer Phil Hughes died 11 years ago. Ben's father, Jay, said he loved cricket and it was one of the joys of his life. We would also like to support his teammate who was bowling in the nets. The accident has impacted 2 families. Semi-final of the Carling Knockout Cup will be Orlando Pirates against Richards Bay, and Marumo Gallants plays Golden Arrows. Last night, Gallants thrashed Stellenbosch 4-0 with 2 goals from Ndlolo. Liverpool boss Arne Slot says he does not regret his decision to rest his top players in the Carabao Cup. The Reds are out of the competition after losing 3-0 at home to Crystal Palace.
And I think at this moment of time, with only 15, 16 players available, and I'm talking then about players of our squad, to add to that this club has always used this competition for their academy players as well. This felt to me as the right decision, and I haven't changed my opinion about that after the results, because with our starters we haven't been able to win a lot from Palace as well.
Arsenal beat Brighton 2-0. Chelsea beat Wolves 4-3. Man City got a 3-1 win over Swansea. Newcastle beating Spurs 2-0. In rugby, Sharks head coach John Plumtree will step down at the end of the season, moving into a mentoring and advisory position. And in tennis at the Paris Masters, Yannick Sinner's legs looked a little tired, but he still beat Berg 6-4, 6-2. He plays Serendolo today, but the 8th seed Casper Ruud is out, along with the 7th seed Musetti. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Hey Queens, listen up. It's time for the 5th annual Nomzamo Lighthouse Foundation Empowering Her Seminar and Business Awards. Proudly powered by the Hollywood Foundation, and we're calling on your entries. From township startups to industry-defining pioneers, the Empowering Her Awards celebrate the very best of SA's business minds, and now it's your turn to shine. Are you a woman who's passionate and committed to building a business that's changing your community? Are you looking to inspire other women just like you to dream beyond their limits? Well, this is just the right avenue for you. Visit www.hollywoodfoundation.co.za to submit your entry before 31 October 2025 and make the world your stage. T's and C's apply.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
While you're prepping for the best summer yet, make sure you're also planning for a successful 2026 and beyond with Liberty. So next Monday from 3 p.m, 702 Drive with John Perlman will speak to Liberty financial advisor Sheila Ann Roby. From obtaining a financial plan to unlocking your financial potential, tune in to get the lowdown with Liberty on 702. Liberty Group Limited, a licensed life insurer, authorized FSP and part of the Standard Bank Group. T's, C's, risks and limitations apply.
EWN traffic.
12 to 9, let's catch up with the roads. Amo, it's been a busy Thursday.
It has been indeed, Bongani. If you are traveling towards the city of Tshwane via the R21, do expect to slow down as you approach Olifantsfontein Road. That's due to the roadworks that are taking place along this route. While on the N3 North, we still have got those roadworks causing delays between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the N12 as well as the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Kidulis interchange. While in Germiston, we've got an accident reported on the N3 North. It's right near the Geldenhuys interchange. Delays from the airlines turned off. I'll have more updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Hey, Laura.
The unmistakable voice of jazz and soul returns to South Africa, Gregory Porter. Join the two-time Grammy Award winner for 3 intimate performances now at Teatro Monte Casino on the 20th, 21st and 22nd of November. Don't miss one of the greatest voices of our time, Gregory Porter, live. Book now at showtime.co.za.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for pharmacies, convenience stores, beauty salons, and more. Corney?
Business Outsurance is definitely the best insurance for my business. Sold out every other insurance house. Honestly, looking at what you need, my installment came down within a day. Definitely the most professional.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSB. TCs and information online.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Between 9 and 12 is the Clement Manyatela Show. Now, on Thursdays, you have the hanging out feature, don't you?
Yeah.
Who are you hanging out with today?
So today...
Give me a clue.
Okay. He was one of the main actors on Generations. He was like Karabo Moroka, male version of Karabo Moroka.
Archie Moroka.
No.
Archie's the male version of Karabo. Archie was the brother.
Yeah, but he wasn't as powerful as Karabo on Generations. Like this one was as popular and as powerful like as Karabo Moroka, just the male version. Ujotile Karabo ne? Yeah, he dated Karabo.
Putao.
Yes. Putao. Is that what they said? Your mom was like, hey, Putao, loya.
No, man.
Uncle Tao, loya.
You know what? You're betraying that you never really watched Generations. They used to call him Putao in Generations. Yes. Ketiwe.
Used
to call him Putao.
Oh, Ketiwe, yes.
Wow. Wow. What else is on the show?
So that's on the show between 10 and 11 o'clock. We're hanging up with Uputau, award-winning actor Rapulana Sipemo. And then at 11 o'clock, we're going to do our Thursday dialogue. Today, we're focusing on the tension between the Department of Justice and the inquiry into the TRC cases. They've come out to speak. The minister has now released a statement. So I'm going to be bringing all the different parties to figure out why are these departments not responding with the necessary information that's been requested.
They've had all these years to do it. Why would they do so now? Was a deal struck? Clement Manyatela between 9 and 12.
Naked people are totally zen because naked people spend less time on insurance admin and more time meditating. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
You could do something first and still be doing it wrong. What hurts is sprinting but never making it to the finish line. Quit going in the wrong direction because with Sunny Sixt, you can rent here and globally. Other car rental companies only have a vision to try harder. We actually deliver. While they leave you feeling blue, our budget and vibe match yours. For a tailored service offering premium at every stage, book premium car rental excellence with Sani Sixt.
The G20 Summit coming to Johannesburg is a stepping stone towards a brighter future for the city. Josie My Josie has launched the Babize Bonke campaign to shine a spotlight on some of the extraordinary champions who are reshaping Johannesburg from the ground up.
My name is Yumna Bukers, community activist based in Bertrams. I transform bad spaces in the community into productive vegetable gardens and provide provide for local soup kitchens, schools, and the needy.
Josie My Josie is making the invisible visible, giving the voiceless a voice. It's a movement for the people, by the people, creating a city that we can proudly call Josie My Josie. Come see how Josie does it. A city that's alive, ready, and rising. Prime Media and 702 are proud sponsors of Josie My Josie.
Josie My Josie, Babi Zebonke champion Mama Yumna will be interviewed on Weekend Breakfast by Gugs Mhlungu just after 9 a.m. on Saturday morning.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
It may feel like it's just a simple haircut, but what if it opens a window into the lives of men, their struggles, their joys, and perhaps even the bonds they share? That's exactly what happens in Barbershop Chronicles, the international hit play that, of course, is now making its African debut at the Market Theatre at the John Gani Theatre. It's all about how men can cheat on their barber without regret. This production takes audiences across 6 barbershops: Johannesburg, Harare, Kampala, Lagos, Accra, and London. The idea is to explore masculinity, vulnerability, brotherhood, and belonging, and it sounds absolutely fascinating. We're joined by Sbusiso Mamba, who is the director, who has, of course, also directed this African premiere, who joins us now to tell us about this global hit and what it might do for South African audiences. Sbusiso, a very good morning to you. Welcome to 702 Breakfast. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, Bongani. Thank you so much for having me.
This sounds absolutely fascinating. Why bring Barbershop Chronicles to Joburg, and why now?
You know, I think it's been long coming. It's a play that was done around 2016, 2017 in the UK, created at the National Theatre and Fuel Theatre in Leeds. And when it happened, it toured to Australia, toured to America. And I remember saying to some of the people I knew who were involved in it, why didn't you come here? Why didn't you come to Southern Africa? But clearly it was meant for us to do it as we're doing it now at the market. It's a great time because there's so many conversations that are happening about masculinity in general, about Black masculinity. And I think this play shines a light on Black masculinity in a way that I think is unexpected, in a way that is new and fresh, and Black masculinity in particular through the African context, through the African diaspora context. And the playwright found that barbershops, he's Nigerian living in the UK, found that barbershops in the UK had a specific function for Black men as a place of a community, as a place of refuge. But he'd also heard that there were people considering training barbers as therapists because they realized that men open up when they're in the chair. And so that sparked an idea for him to see if it's the same on the African continent. So he traveled to all these countries that are in the play and sat in barbershops and heard and witnessed and took part in these conversations. So I think it's a really good time to not just reflect on what it means to be a Black man and what it means, what it means to find a safe space to be yourself, but also to celebrate Black men in a way that we know that in the media that sometimes doesn't happen. And we there are 10 actors on stage, but by the end of the evening you will have experienced over 30 characters and 30 versions of Black masculinity. And yeah, we have music, we have dance, there's a celebration of what it means to be a Black man, but also an insight, and hopefully people will see Black men in a way that they've never seen them before. So yeah, I think it's a very timely moment for this production and this play.
There is this idea that masculinity and vulnerability are often seen as things that are at odds with each other. This play hopefully tries to dispel that.
I think we do. I think we the way that the characters are written and the approach we're taking in that, I think that's exactly the part we want to explore. And there's also the feeling and you hear it often that men don't have places where they can be vulnerable, and hopefully we will show a version of life where that isn't the case, and maybe even inspire spaces to be created for men to be vulnerable, and hopefully, as a young man watching it, you will see your fathers, your uncles, your grandfathers, and yourself, and find and get an idea of how you can be vulnerable, and where and with whom. And I think it's sad that is the narrative, but it's all come from experience. Of course, it these things don't come from nowhere. But hopefully, this is a play that engages with that in a way that is helpful and insightful.
So the premiere is on Sunday, the 9th of November. At 2:30 in the afternoon, which I think is absolutely perfect. It's at the Bongani Theatre. That's, of course, at the Market Theatre. I would imagine not many spaces, so those will be limited. Will it have a longer run, or is it just that day?
No, it's running longer. So we have 3 performances before the premiere, which are preview performances, which means we're still fine-tuning and working, but there are tickets on sale for that. And then after the premiere, it runs until the end of November, until the 30th of November. So just go on the website. The performances are generally Wednesday to Sunday at different times, 7 p.m. weekdays, and then we have those afternoon performances as well as evening on Saturday. So we'll be running until the end of the month. So come and join us.
I'll see you on the 9th.
Will be in for a treat. Thank you.
See you on the 9th. I see you on the. This is right up my alley. Sounds absolutely fantastic. The kind of thing we need more and more of to make theatre relevant and reflective of our realities. So you can go to the Market Theatre box office, of course, to get your tickets for Barbershop Chronicles, making its Johannesburg debut.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
And that's all the time we have for you. Gosh, where has the week gone? We'll see you bright and early tomorrow for the Friday edition of 702 Breakfast.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. A Mamelodi man who was shot in his private parts during an attack that claimed the lives of 2 women has told EWN that his life may never be the same. Desmond Sinong has been recovering in